मयि श्रीगुरवे श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वशास्त्राभिपीयूष सर्ववेदैक सत्फल सर्वसिद्धांत रत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्प्रद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्ष्यक्षराय ते प्रेमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्ष्यक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुते मोदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानंद नमोस्तुते असाधु साधु तातायिन् अतिनिचोच्चतारक हानमुञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णार्थ कण्ठयोस्फुर। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम की जय। दशमस्य विशुद्ध्यर्थं नवानामिह लक्षणं वर्णयन्ति महात्मानः श्रुतेन चार्थेन चाञ्जसा। Hare Krishna. So, welcome all of you in today's session. I was supposed to do this session actually on site there at Pune, but because of some engagement here at Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, I will be able to come only on Saturday, coming Saturday. So then we thought that we will take this session online because yes, we wanted to certainly do this unit. Okay, so in this particular unit, we are studying from 10th canto, the Samam, and this unit comprises of 5 chapters, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. So this particular set of chapters is coming from Dwaraka Leela. In 10th canto, these 3 sections of Vraja Leela, Mathura Leela, and Dwaraka Leela are there. So this particular section comes from Dwaraka Leela section. And there is not so much commentary on this actually. There is some commentary, certainly, and also we see that Prabhupada disciples' purports are also not very elaborate. So we hope to complete 1 chapter a day actually. Yes. So 5 days, 5 chapters, I think should be possible to cover. So that's Hare Krishna. Arjuneshwar Pro, just in case I am not audible or if there is disturbance due to connectivity, you can let me know in between. You can cut me short and let me know. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. You are audible, Prabhuji. Perfect.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. So that's how we hope to complete actually every day 1 chapter. So in this, today is chapter 66, Paundraka, the false Vasudeva. So this chapter basically relates the story of how this Vasudeva Paundraka. He was killed by the Lord along with his accomplice, his friend Kashiraja, along with his son, Kashiraja's son, Sudakshina. So all these evil personalities were killed by Lord and Lord's servants like Sudarshan. So that is what is described in this particular chapter. So we'll see this chapter now. Yeah. So I'll request I will read the text, and one of the devotees can read the translations as and when we complete the reading of text. So first 10 verses translations some devotee can read as and when we go text by text. So maybe Samarpan Go Prabhu, you can read as I call out to read the translation. Okay. Yes. So just sharing the screen. Yes, so you can see now the screen. Yeah. Shri Shuka Uvacha Nandavrajam Kate Rame Karushadhipatir Nrapa Vasudevohamityajño Dutam Krishnaya Prahinot.
Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, while Lord Balram was away visiting Nanda's village of Raj, the ruler of Karusha, foolishly thinking, I am the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, sent a messenger to Lord Krishna.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So this particular chapter describes the killing of Paundraka, and this episode happened when Lord Balaram was in Vraja. We know that Lord Balaram had gone to visit Vraja, and he was Hare Krishna, keep yourself on mute. All of you, please keep yourself on mute. Yes. So Balaramji had gone to Vraja, and he was there situated in Vraja doing wonderful pastimes there. So that is when this particular episode happened of Paundraka. So that's why the verse is saying Nanda Vrajam Gate Rame. Rama, Balarama was in Nanda Vraja. In fact, Balaram heard the whole story in Vraja. There were messengers who used to travel between Dwaraka and Vraja, before that Mathura and Vraja. So there were constant messengers going back and forth. Every Leela of Krishna in Dwaraka was reported in Vraja. It was like a news agency that ran through telling all the news of Dwaraka in Vraja. So Balaramji, sitting with Nanda Maharaj, he heard the story of Paundraka being killed by the Lord. And he experienced various emotions actually while he was hearing this. When he heard that how that Paundraka's messenger came and gave the message to Krishna saying, give up your weapons and surrender unto me. So Balram was very angry there. He thought, what is this? Paundrak thinking of himself, I should have been there. I would have pounded him. So then he was like very angry. And then when he heard Krishna's reply, he was like very happy. So he was going through a lot of emotions. Nanda Maharaj was just so much worried about Krishna, but Balramji was in like full fury when he was hearing all these words. So that's how Jiva Goswami mentions in Gopal Champu that Balramji had heard this whole episode. And then after that episode, Balramji could not just stay there in Vraja. He thought, I have to go back. When I am not there in Dwarka, these people are thinking Krishna to be alone, and that's why they are daring, and they are having such temerity to attack Krishna or threaten Krishna, so I must go back. So that's when he took the permission of Nanda Baba and said that I wish to go now. I want to be with Krishna. like that. So that's how this Paundraka falsely thought that Krishna is alone, ekaki, and that's why he sent a Duta. This particular person, Paundraka Vasudeva, also he he basically was a king of Karusha dynasty, Karusha Adhipati, also known as Pundra dynasty. Pundra dynasty. That's why he was known as Paundraka. Actually, some of the Puranas say that his father's name was also Vasudeva. That's why he was known as Vasudeva. He thought himself also as Vasudeva, but his father's name was also Vasudeva. And that's why, right from childhood, that kind of idea became very prominent that probably he is only the Vasudeva. He is Vishnu. He was also a look-alike of Vishnu. Puranas explain that he was a look-alike. He was like a duplicate of Krishna. In English, there is a term called doppelganger. Doppelganger means one who is a look-alike. In this world, they say that everyone has at least got 2 or 3 doppelgangers. So sometimes you see some imitation duplicates of some famous people, right? And they also have a lot of fame sometimes. Imitating a famous person, they also achieve some fame and like that. So this Paundraka was like that. He was also look-alike of Krishna. And his father's name was Vasudeva. And so that's how, although he was very evil, but then people started saying to him, and he started also believing that he is actually Vasudeva, like that. So much so that he thought Krishna, who is the real Vasudeva, he is Vasudeva only in the name. Because he's son of Vasudeva, he's thinking he's Vasudeva. But there is no Bhagavatva in him. I am the real Bhagavan. I am the real Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what he was thinking. That false idea developed in him because of other people, and also because of he himself was having that wicked nature of becoming God, trying to enjoy like the Supreme Lord. So this province was very nearby Kashi, and this person belonged to that. He was the king of that province, Karusha or Pundra, Karusha Adhipati. So he sent a message to Dwaraka saying Vasudevoham. So he was such a fool that he believed people's words, and he was having such a daring to send message to Krishna. So that is what is mentioned here. Text 2. Tvam Vasudevo Bhagavan avatirno jagatpatihi iti prastobhito balayir mena atmanam achyutam. Yes,
Paundrak was emboldened by the flattery of childish men who told him, "You are Vasudev, the Supreme Lord and the Master of the universe, who have now descended to earth." Thus he imagined himself to be the infallible personality of Godhead.
So we talked about this, how he himself thought like that. People told him, and he believed their words. Like prastobhito. Prastobhito means flattered by foolish people. And because of that, he became very prastobhita, emboldened. There was some stobha that came in him. Stobha is a great arrogance or pride that came in him. But actually, that opinion that he was Vasudeva, only Balayir, only foolish people, ignorant people, they thought like that. Those who were wise, Brahmanas, learned people, they knew Krishna is the real Jagatpati. He is the Bhagavan. But then Bala, foolish, ignorant people thought like that, and praised by them, this person also became Prastobhita. He also became so much emboldened that he thought, yes, I am Achyuta. I am the Supreme Lord. Dutam cha prahinot mandah Krishnasya vyakta vartmane Dwarakayam yatha balo Nripo bala krito budhaha.
Thus, slow-witted king Paundrak sent a messenger to the inscrutable Lord Krishna at Dwarka. Paundrak was acting just like an unintelligent child whom other children are pretending is a king.
Yeah. So you can see first verse mentioned that he sent a messenger, right? First verse mentioned. Dutam Krishnaya prahino. Again, here it is mentioned, third verse also, Dutam cha prahino. So it is punarukti, right? There is some repetition, redundancy is there. So why such a redundance usually, typically? When acharyas speak or when Shukdev is speaking, they don't do punarukti unless and until there is some reason. So here the punarukti is done by Shukadev. You see, again he is telling that the messenger was sent by Pondraka. This is out of great surprise, wonder. Shukadev is like wonderstruck. So he told once, saying that, so this person thinking that I am Vasudev, he sent the messenger. And again he is saying, and he sent a messenger. Can you believe he sent a messenger? Like that. Again, so that surprise, wonder, astonishment is coming out. Ashcharya. He sent a messenger. See, you can believe that you are Lord, but you send a messenger. Oh my God, this is too much. How can you do such a thing? So that's how he is saying. Manda, what a slow-witted, dullard, a foolish person. And it is expected because Krishnasya avyakta vartmane. Actually, Krishna is avyakta vartma. He is very difficult to be understood. His ways are very difficult to be understood. Vartma is the path or the way. And the way of Krishna, how he acts, his tattva, it is very difficult to understand. No, it's not easy for those who are non-devotees. For devotees, it is very, very easy. Bhaktyaham ekaya graham. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyachasne tatvata. So, because this person was a non-devotee, so that is why Shukadev says avyakta vartmani. Krishna's ways, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes were just avyakta, inscrutable for him. He just could not understand Krishna actually. He was a fool and he was such a non-devotee also, envious of Krishna. So that's why Dwarakayam yatha balo nrupo bala krito buddha. So he sent a message in Dwarka directly where Krishna was residing. This was like Shukdev gives a drishtanta example that it was like sometimes amongst the children, no, they say, okay, you are a king, this person is a king and this is a minister and he is a soldier. So how the children, they think that, okay, this person is king and that is queen and this. They are playing like that, right? They are ignorant fools. None of them is a king. None of them is a queen. But then they think like that. So these people also believed, the Karusha's residents and Kashi's residents, they also believed that. Surprisingly, Kashi is a city of Panditas, right? But they also believed such a thing that usually Kashi is the land of learned people. But then they also believed like that because these were friends. These were all evil company. So they believed also that Paundraka is the real Vasudeva. And they thought that he is the Vasudeva and we are his citizens. So this is how Abudhaha, Mandaha is called to be foolish. He's said to be ignorant, like that. This is how. So Shukdev's astonishment is seen in this particular verse. In fact, Sanatan Goswami gives that avyakta vartmane word a different meaning. Avyakta vartmane, he says avyakta vartmane. Krishnasya avyakta vartmane, you can split it into two ways. Krishnasya plus avyaktavartmane va krishnasya plus avyaktavartmane. Avyaktavartmane. In both cases, savarna dirgha sandhi will happen. So avyaktavartmane, in that case, Sri Sanatana Goswami says, A means samyak. A means samyak. So samyak vyaktavartmane. Krishna is very well understood by the devotees. Krishna is very well understood by the devotees. For non-devotees, he is avyakta vartma, one whose ways are very difficult to understand. But for devotees, he is avyakta vartma. His heart and his qualities, they are very nicely understood by the devotees. They understand the import. Of course, nobody can understand Krishna fully, right? Who can understand Krishna fully? But tatvataha, at least the aspect of knowing him in truth, that is achieved by the devotees to the degree that Lord reveals them, right? Naveda kaschid bhagwans chikirshitam. All those verses they describe, or even Bhishma Dev describes, Nahasya kashkarhi chitrajan puman ved viditsitam. Yasya vijidnyasaya api mujanto kavayopi. Kavayopi. So, vijigyasa, vishesh jigyasa. Even if you do vishesh jigyasa, meaning special inquiry in Krishna's pastimes, sometimes you may not understand some things, why he does such a thing. So that's the Siddhant actually, finally. Can a devotee understand Krishna fully? No, no one can understand Krishna fully. No one can understand. In fact, he is so wonderful that even in his own life, or in his own pastime, he shows that he also doesn't understand himself fully. That's how the Supreme Lord is. But as far as devotees are concerned, even they don't understand him fully. Vijigyasa, even if they may do extensive inquiry, exhaustive inquiry, but they understand the tattvataha aspect. What is Krishna's tattva? And what are his intentions in general? Samanyataha, what are his intentions? They understand. Specific intention of the Lord, who can know? Nobody can know that. So that is avyakta vartma. A devotee, for a devotee, Lord is avyakta vartma, which means that his ways and his mannerisms, his activities, his intentions, they are known to a devotee. If you have devotion, then you understand why he does a particular. But if you don't have devotion, then you can see, even though he may manifest all his pastimes, how this person is not able to understand anything. Because he was a non-devotee, he was not a devotee. So this is how text 4. दूतस्तु द्वारकामेत्य सभायामास्थितं प्रभुं कृष्णं कमलपत्राक्षं राजसन्देशम् अब्रवीत्.
Arriving in Dwarka, the messenger found lotus-eyed Krishna in his royal assembly and relayed the king's message to that almighty Lord.
Yeah. So this Duta, he was a Brahmana actually. No, Duta was a Brahmana. He was not some Shudra or somebody. He was a Brahmana, and that's why when he came in Dwarka, he was offered a lot of respect. But he misunderstood that respect, that probably already they accept that, Pondrak is the real Vasudeva. He was a Brahmana, so he was not stopped anywhere in Dwarka. He could directly go in the assembly of Sudharma. So he went there, Dwarka Metya. He entered Dwarka unhindered, not stopped by anyone, and straight away went to Sudharma assembly where Lord Krishna was sitting. Asthitam Prabhum. Krishnam Kamala Patraksham. And in fact, Krishna is so beautiful that when this Brahmana messenger saw Krishna, even he was attracted to Krishna's beauty. Kamala Patraksha. Krishna's eyes are like the lotus petals, right? If you see the lotus petals, Kamala Patra, so they, towards the edges, they have that pinkish or reddish tinge, like that. So similarly, Krishna's eyes are like that, very beautiful. Towards the end, they have that pinkish or reddish tinge, Kamala Patraksha. So he felt attracted to Krishna for a moment, actually, that Brahman. But then still he was so foolish, Jiva Goswami says, that he continued to give the message of his master, founder. He is said to be unfortunate or foolish because, yeah, he understood Krishna's position. He did not understand Krishna's position, of course, but yeah, he was attracted for a moment to Krishna and Krishna's beauty. But then still he gave his message that his master had sent, like that. So Krishna also respected that messenger, but then the message that he had brought was very, very evil. And so Krishna just ridiculed the message. He did not chastise the Brahmana, but he chastised the sender of the message very much. So that is seen in the further verses. Vasudevo, so now the message is being relayed. Message is being described in 2 verses. Vasudevo vatirnoham eka eva na chaparah bhutanam anukampartham tvam tu mityabhidam tyaja.
On Paundraka's behalf, the messenger said, I am the one and only Lord Vasudev, and there is no other. It is I who have descended to this world to show mercy to the living beings. Therefore, give up your false name.
So 2 messages speak about, 2 verses speak about the message that he sent, text 5 and 6, like that. So you can see his message. He is saying, Pandraka is saying to Krishna, Vasudevo vatirno ham. Actually, I have incarnated as Vasudeva. Eka eva. And I am the only one Vasudeva. You may be having Vasudeva name because your father is named Vasudeva. But you are not real Vasudeva. I am the Vasudeva. Eka eva. Nacha aparaha. No one else is Vasudeva. And I have come here in this world for bhutanam anukampartham, to show mercy to the living beings. I have come. So that's why I ask you to give up your Vasudeva name and everything, because I want to be merciful to living entities. How can you be merciful? By telling me to give up all the name and everything, right? Tvam tu mithya bhidam tyaja. Abhidha means nomenclature. Abhidha or abhidhanam. So you please give up this nomenclature. It is mithya, it is false for you. So that's why you abandon it, you give it up. If you don't give it up, then I have to fight. And if I have to fight, I have to kill all your Dwarka residents also. So then that purpose of my descent, which is Bhutana Manukampa, mercy to the living beings, that will be defeated. He is saying. So that purpose will be defeated if I have to fight you, because I will have to kill you. And then I have to kill your residents also, Dwarka, everything I will destroy. So then my real purpose of appearance will be violated, it will be made false. So that's why don't do this. So don't give up your name. Give up your name and give up your false Shankha Chakra Gada Padma that you are carrying. So you can see this is like Ulta Chor Kotwal Ko Date, right? In Hindi they say. These are like somebody who is a thief calling the Sajjana or policeman a thief. So it's like that. So now whenever such words are spoken, there is Devi Saraswati who will not allow such words to apply to Krishna, or the meaning that the meaning that comes out is the meaning which is actually glorification of Krishna only. that is called as Sarasvatartha, or it is called as Saraswati Abhimatartha. And this thing typically is seen in Shastra, where Acharyas give Sarasvatartha. Saraswatyaha artha सह सारस्वतार्थ. सरस्वती के द्वारा जो अर्थ अभिप्रेत है उसको सारस्वतार्थ कहते हैं. So it is like what? The demon is saying some words which are criticism of Krishna, or which are abusive invectives towards Krishna, but those invectives are turned into glorification by Mother Saraswati. It's like you throw a garland of chappals on somebody, and that garland of chappals, as it is traveling, it turns into a garland of jasmine flowers and falls on that person. So the demon is throwing garland of chappals only. He is not throwing garland of jasmine flowers. But Saraswati turns it into garland of beautiful glorification. So that's how these words, they are given the meaning by Saraswati. So the devotees or Krishna, when he hears those words, he hears that glorification also. That's how it is. So for the sake of pastime, he is hearing those abusive words and he is going to reply also. But the point is, those abusive words never ever affect Krishna, in the sense that they never reach Krishna. Those words just don't reach Krishna, right? This principle is also spoken by Narad Muni in 7th canto, in the beginning, that the words of hatred or words of praise, they basically, I mean, especially if one is not knowing Krishna's position and criticizing him, he is seeing Krishna also as an ordinary mortal and criticizing him or glorifying him. Those words don't reach Krishna. They don't affect Krishna in any way. But one will get punished for that, certainly. So it is like your criticism never reaches Krishna, but then you still get punished for misuse of that free will. So the demon's criticism is actually a completely lose-lose situation. Those words never reach also Krishna, and then they get punished also for those words. So that's how here Vishwanath Chakravarti has given Sarasvatartha. So which means that these sort of words, they cannot be spoken to Krishna, criticism words. So then what does that mean? So Vasudevo Vatirnoham. So it means that in Sarasvatartha, in the opposite meaning, this avatirna takes the meaning of na avatirna. Na avatirna. There is a rule of grammar for that. So that's okay. We will not get into that. But that avatirna becomes navatirna. Navatirna. So the meaning is, I have not incarnated as Vasudeva. I have not incarnated as Vasudeva. In fact, aham eka eva. I am only one small insignificant soul. Aham eka eva. I am insignificant jiva. Na chaparaha. I am not like Krishna. He is all encompassing. He includes everyone. Krishna is that Advaya Jnana Tattva. But here, when he is saying aham eka eva, means that I am actually that insignificant singular living entity. And I have not incarnated as Vasudeva. So bhutana manukampartham tvam tu mithya bhidam tyaja. So this also means that actually tyaja means tyajaya here. Tyaja, you give up, means you make me give up. This meaning of tyaja basically here is that tyajaya, which means that you don't give up, you make me give up. You make me give up this false Vasudeva name, or rather Vasudeva, the claiming of Vasudevaship, Godhead, that I am doing. So you make me give up this, like that. And that will be Bhutanam Anukampartham. That will be actually real mercy on all the living entities, including me. When you make me give up my false designation Vasudeva by killing me, so that time it will be real compassion for all the living entities and also on me this way. So this is how the words are turned. So Mithya Bhida, the false designation, is actually for Paundraka. It is not for Krishna, isn't it? So that's why he's saying, make me give up that Tyajaya. So that's why Lord Krishna also later will reply saying that Tyajayishe Abhidhanam. Yes, yes, as you have asked, I will make you give up your false designation. I will make you. Tyajayishe. मैं आपसे छुड़वाऊंगा. त्याजयिष्ये मतलब छोड़ना नहीं, छुड़ाना या छुड़वाना, whatever it can take. It is causative. So this is how. So that false conception of Pondrak Vasudeva is like an oyster thinking itself to be silver. Shukti Rajata Nyaya. In Sanskrit, there is something called as Shukti Rajata Nyaya. Shukti means Shimpla, Sipla or Shimpala, which means oyster. Oyster, it also glistens in the sun. It glistens and thinks itself to be, or people think it to be silver. It also is sparkling like silver. But oyster is oyster, right? It is not silver. Oyster is different and silver is different. So Shukti Rajata Nyaya, if some oyster is thought as Rajat, as silver, that is a false thing. So similarly, this Paundraka was thinking that he is Vasudeva, although he is like an oyster. He is thinking that he is silver. So please make me give up that designation. That will be real mercy on me, which is the living entity. That way. So that's all. Well, I wish to take questions only after a certain amount of verses. So, Sri Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, you can please note the question. But
Okay.
we'll complete a set of verses and then you can ask, no problem. Okay. So in purport also, Goddess Saraswati's meaning has been put over here, you can see. Text 6. Yani tvam asmat chinnhani maudhyad bibharshi satvata tyaktvahi mam tvam saranam no chedehi mamahavam.
O Satvata, give up my personal symbols, which out of foolishness you now carry, and come to me for shelter. If you do not, then you must give me battle.
Yeah. So Paundraka's message is again in one more verse. Yani tvam asmat chinnani maudhyat bibharshi satvata. O Satvata, you are actually, because of foolishness, Maudhyat, you are holding these symbols of mine. Asmat chihnani, bibharshi. So you are holding them actually, although they are asmat chihnani, they are my symbols like Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Shanga, and Nandaka, and whatever, all this. So tyaktva ehi mam tvam sharanam. So give up these symbols, false symbols that you are carrying, and come to my shelter. If not, dehi mamaha ahavam. If not, then fight with me. You give me battle then. If you don't want to surrender unto me, then come and fight with me. So this was what he was saying. Again, Vishwanath Chakravarti gives Saraswata. Bibharshi, which means that you are actually allowing me to carry these false chinnas. Bibharshi literally means that you are maintaining my false symbols. Asmat Chinnani, my false symbols you are maintaining. What does that mean? It means that you are allowing these chinnas, you are allowing these objects to be carried in my hand. You are tolerating these objects. They are being held in my hand and you are tolerating bibharshi. You are maintaining these, which means that basically you are observing and you are not punishing me. You are allowing these symbols which I am carrying, which are false symbols, and I'm carrying them out of foolishness. So, so it is really an injustice actually. You don't allow me to carry these. You don't allow me to carry these. You kill me and you make me stop carrying these symbols. It is an injustice that you are allowing me to continue to possess these and not removing them. That's what is Saraswatarth over here. You are allowing me to continue. So it's a great injustice. So, you stop this injustice, unlike that. So please make me give up these symbols and give me the liberation. Tyaktvehi mam tvam sharanam. So again, here tyaktva also means the same thing, tyajayitva. By making me give up these symbols, please give me the sharanam of your lotus feet. Why? Because when you kill me, I will get liberation. I will get sarupya mukti. So that's how, by making me give up these symbols, you please give me shelter of your lotus feet because I will get mukti. This is how these words are meaning like that. Please give me the opportunity to fight with me. And no chair dehi mama havam. Because I know if I get the opportunity to fight with you, then you will kill me and thus I will get liberation. See, now these are not the thoughts of Vasudev Paundrak. These are not his meditations. And don't misunderstand that Paundraka is some eternal associate who is praying like this or anything like that. No, this is Saraswatarth. This is done by Saraswati for those devotees who become so broken-hearted to hear criticism of Krishna. That Saraswati wants to please such devotees and inspire such meanings that, this is what is the meaning is this Paundraka is begging actually to kill and thus offer him liberation. That's how Saraswati, Mother Saraswati, because the words are for service of Krishna, no? So how can those words do disservice to Krishna? This is the point, you say. How can those words do disservice to Krishna if they're directed towards Krishna? All the words are for service of Krishna. So then if you want to do disservice by critiquing Krishna, condemning him, then Saraswati will just turn those words completely. It will not allow a demon to be able to criticize Krishna like that. But because it is not from the demon side, it is not from the demon side, so that's why he is punished certainly. That was not his intention. See, some exceptional demons like Ravana Kumbhakarna or Hiranyakshiranyakashipu, who were eternal associates, and they become the demons. So that's why when they speak such words criticizing Krishna, so Saraswatarth will actually apply to them also. And they intend to say that within their heart, but it will not apply to people like Paundraka, who is not an eternal associate or something. Sometimes we may think like every demon is an eternal associate. No, it's not like that. Only exceptional personalities, they sometimes become demons by Lord's desire or by Lord's pastime sake or something. And then those demons, sometimes they may have two intentions while they are speaking, and Saraswatarth may actually apply for them. But for people like Paundraka and all, they were actually evil people. So that's why this Saraswati, Mother Saraswati's glory is that she is not allowing those words to become criticism of Krishna. Like that. So that is how this is spoken. So verses 5 and 6 thus describe the message and the intended meaning of Paundraka and Saraswatarth also. Saraswatarth, which means Saraswati's intended meaning also. So you can imagine all this is being spoken in the assembly there directly in front of Krishna and Ugrasena and Uddhava and all of them, so many of the exalted personalities, sages, wise people, brahmanas, they are all hearing these things and such words are spoken. So this whole thing became a big comedy actually. It became a comedy for them. Shri Shuka Uvacha Kathanam Tadupakarnya Paundrakasyalpamedhasaha Ugrasenadayah Sabhya Uchchakairjah Sustata.
Sukdev Goswami said, King Ugrasen and other members of the assembly laughed loudly when they heard this vain boasting of unintelligent Paundrak.
Yeah. So when they heard this Kathanam, which is very boastful words, which are full of falsity, words which are just inappropriate words, Kathanam, just a very gibberish kind of talk, useless talk. What is this they are speaking? So these words of Paundraka, who was Alpamedha, Alpamedhasaha, he is foolish, unintelligent. Intelligence is very small. So Ugrasen and all of them, they started laughing loudly. And like Brahmana was just seeing and his face became very small. That why are they laughing? Why are they laughing? They should have become concerned, no? But opposite effect became, Brahmana became concerned and they started laughing, instead of the other way around actually. So it was a full comedy. What sort of these words are they, right? Like you can imagine in rapt attention, you are listening something and then the message gets completed and then everybody burst into laughter, ha, 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 like that. So that's how the whole assembly burst into huge laughter. It was a huge comedy for them, like that. So demons have given lot of laughter, laughter challenge for all the Dwarkavasis many times. Even in case of Jarasandh, we know first time he attacked Mathura, the Mathura Vasis were little bit worried. But from next time, he became cause of big comedy actually. Second, third, fourth. Jiva Goswami says it became such a topic of stand-up comedians in Mathura. The whole Jarasandha story was a topic of stand-up comedians in the squares, in the chowks of Mathura. There were topics actually. And if they have to perform on which comedy, then this was the comedy that they would perform. So this Paundraka's thing also became quite a topic for the comedy for many days. That what sort of message was written by him. Just see how it is. So then Krishna, he answered this person. उवाच दूतं भगवान् परिहास कथा मनु उत्स्रक्षे मूढ़ चिन्हानि ज्ञैस्त्वम् एवं विकथसे.
The personality of Godhead, after enjoying the jokes of the assembly, told the messenger to relay a message to his master. You fool, I will indeed let loose the weapons you boast of in this way.
Yeah. So, कृष्णा परिहास कथाम, वहां पे परिहास की कथा हो गई भाई, देखो. राइट. वहां पे परिहास की कथा हो गई. आफ्टर ब्राह्मणा's words delineating the message, everybody started sharing their own expert comments on that message, and it became a full katha of laughters there. Ugrasen started quipping and all others, so many members, that what is this? This is like best comedy over here. So after Parihas Katha was over, Anu, then Krishna said to Brahmana that please pass on this message to Paundraka. Yes, hey Moodha, oh foolish Paundraka, Chinnani Utsrakshe. Yes, I will give up these. I will give up Utsrakshe. I will release these weapons, or I will give up. I will abandon them. But I will give up them on you. I will release these weapons on you. I will not just release them like that. I will release them on you. You and your accomplices, you and your associates. Utsrakshe, like that. So, this is what Krishna replied him. Yehi tvam evam vikathase. So, I will make sure that I will release these weapons, these symbols on you and your people in whose association you have such daring to speak such words, such words of obstinacy and temerity that you want to speak and challenge me. So certainly, utsrakshe, tyaja ishe, I will make you give up this. Or it can mean also that I will release the weapons and make you give up your weapons. Like I will release my weapons, these symbols, and make you give up the symbols that you are carrying. See, purports in purport, disciples of Prabhupada also say, Utsrakshe means I will hurl, throw, let loose, or abandon. In fact, Prabhupada's Krishna books, very beautiful statements are also quoted by Prabhupada disciples here. So you can read, Prabhu, this highlighted portion.
In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada nicely describes this scene as follows. When all the members of the royal assembly, including King Ugrasen, heard this message sent by Paundrak, they laughed very loudly for a considerable time. After enjoying the loud laughter of all the members of the assembly, Krishna replied to the messenger as follows. O messenger of Paundrak, you may carry my message to your master. You are a foolish rascal. I directly call you a rascal, and I refuse to follow your instructions. I shall never give up the symbols of Vasudev, especially my disc. I shall use this disc to kill not only you, but all your followers also. I shall destroy you and your foolish associates who merely constitute a society of cheaters and the cheated.
Yeah, so this is Prabhupada's words, taking the actually ideas, they are certainly taken from Acharya's Prabhupada within his Krishna book also, very beautiful Acharya's insights he takes, and then he makes those words into very dramatic words, like how he has spoken here. I directly call you a rascal, Moodha, that is being translated in that manner. I shall destroy you and your foolish associate who constitute a society of cheaters and the cheated. Like that. Yes, because yehi tvam evam vikathase. You are having such an arrogance to speak like this because of those boastful association that you have. So I will not leave you. I will destroy you, and I will also destroy your people who are causing so much of arrogance in you by falsely, boastfully glorifying you this way. Mukham tat apidhayadnya kankagridha vatayirvratah shaishase hatastatra bhavita sharanam shunam.
When you lie dead, O fool, your face covered by vultures, herons, and water birds, you will become the shelter of dogs.
Yeah. In fact, this same mouth with which you are speaking now such such boastful words, this same mouth, now it will be covered in the battlefield because you will be dead, and it will be that dead body will be covered by birds such as vultures, herons, and water birds and all these different kinds of birds which eat flesh. So these birds, they will surround you actually. So basically, Krishna is saying that I am going to give you new friends. I am going to kill your friends and your company, and I'm going to give you a new set of friends. Who are they? These are all these flesh-eating birds. These will be your friends. This is going to be a new friendship that I will give you, a new circle of friends, because I am not happy with your association. So I will give you a new association, a better association of all these birds and all that. And Shaishase Hatastatra, in the battlefield, you will be lying down there. Bhavita Sharanam Shunam. And you said, no, that come in my shelter. Please take my shelter. You come in my shelter, surrender unto me. So actually, Jiva Goswami mentions this, whatever I'm speaking, it's from Jiva Goswami. So he says that Krishna says there that, yeah, you are saying, please come in my shelter. Actually, I am not very fortunate to get your shelter. I am not that fortunate. Who is fortunate then? The dogs are very fortunate to get your shelter. So they will get actually your shelter. How will dogs get my shelter? Because I will kill your body and it will fall on the battlefield to be eaten up by dogs. So in this way, your body becomes shelter for the dogs. You understand? You will become shelter for dogs means what? Your body will become shelter for dogs. So I am not the fortunate one. Let the dogs be the fortunate ones who get the shelter of your whatever cactus feet, like that. Pondrak foolishly told the Supreme Lord to come to him for shelter, but here Lord Krishna tells him, you are not my shelter, but rather you will become the shelter of dogs when they happily feast on your dead body. This is how. So, in fact, Krishna was so enraged by these boastful words of this particular person, madness of this Pondraka, that Krishna, Vishnu Puran says that next day he went to Kashi to punish him. Just next day, he summoned his army, he summoned Sudarshana and said, we are leaving tomorrow. That's it. Not even, he did not even wait for a long time. Next day, he was there in the Kashi to attack and kill this person because he thought that this is such an arrogance, this person, like that. So this is how. Okay, one more verse. Iti dutastam akshepam swamine sarvam aharat Krishnopi rathamasthaya kashim upajagamaha.
When the Lord had thus spoken, the messenger conveyed his insulting reply to his master in its entirety. Lord Krishna then mounted his chariot and went to the vicinity of Kashi.
Yeah. So it must have taken some time for that messenger to reach Kashi, right? So whatever it was, but basically the next day itself, Krishna reaches Kashi as per Vishnu Puran. So the message had reached obviously before that to Kashi. Although Pondrak was king of Karusha, but it is mentioned that that time he was staying in Kashi because Kashi Raj was very close friend of this. So both were birds of same feather flocked together. So both were together staying in Kashi. In fact, the kingdoms were nearby only. Karusha and Kashi were just neighboring kingdoms. So that's why many times this Pondrak would be there in the kingdom of Kashi. So that's how Krishna decided, having understood that Pondrak was in Kashi, so he attacked Kashi next day, this way. Okay. Pondrakopi tadudyogam upalabhya maharatha aksho अक्षोहिणीभ्याम संयुक्तो निश्चक्रामा पुराधृतम Okay, Krishna Rupa Mataji, you can read now for next 20 verses. Oh, you have to unmute yourself.
Upon observing Lord Krishna's preparation for battle, the mighty warrior Pondraka quickly went out to the city with 2 full military divisions.
Yeah. So now Pondraka, when he understood that, yes, Krishna probably will immediately attack, Krishna had ridiculed his words, and Brahmana told also the whole that transpired over there, the whole thing that happened, insulting replies and laughter and everything. So Pondraka became very much enraged himself, and he decided that, okay, so now let's fight him in battle and finish him off. So then he had his own army of 2 Akshohini, and then 3 Akshohinis were there from this person also, Kashiraj. So like that, there was 5 Akshohinis army. And he is said to be here Maharatha. So Maharatha, it is said, because only his Ratha was Maha. Only his chariot was big. He was not a Maharath himself. Jiva Goswami says that his chariot was a big chariot like Krishna's chariot. And he was such a superb imitator that even the chariot had the flag with Garuda as the mark. Even the chariot had perfect everything. Actually, on Krishna chariot, the Garuda mark is there. That is not painted mark. Garuda manifests that mark, actually. But this fellow had got it painted, Garuda mark. On Krishna chariot, as soon as Krishna comes out, that chariot flag becomes manifested immediately. Automatically it becomes manifest. This way. Same way with Krishna's Shankha Chakra Gada Padma also. Krishna never picks them up. You remember this. Krishna never picks them up. They are there with him. Always they are there. They just manifest. When Krishna wants to blow the conch shell, it manifests, the Ram. It's not like he has kept them in drawers and then while he's leaving, he says, Are, kidhar hai, Shankh kidhar hai? And Gada kidhar hai, Padma. No, they are there constantly. But with this person, he had all artificially, collected these things, and he had made as thorough imitation of Krishna as possible, like that. So that's why he was not a Maharatha, but he was called a Maharatha because his Ratha was Maha. That was very special chariot, no doubt. So I will just end with, pause with this 12 to 14 verses, okay, because I know that we should give a break of 15 minutes. Tasya Kashipatirmitram Parshnigrahonvayan Nripa Akshohinibhistisribhir Apashat Paundrakam Harihi Shankharyasi Gadashranga Srivatsadyupalakshitam Vibhranam Kaustubhamanim Vanamala Vibhushitam Kausheya Vashasi Pite Vasanam Garudadhvajam Amulya Maulyambhar Abharanam Spuran Makara Kundalam. Yeah.
Pondraka's friend, the king of Kashi, followed behind. O king, leading the rear guard with 3 Akshoni divisions, Lord Krishna saw that Pondraka was carrying the Lord's own insignia, such as the conch shell, disc, sword, and club, and also an imitation, Saranga bow, and Srivatsa mark. He wore a mock Kaustubha gem, was decorated with a garland of forest flowers, and was dressed in upper and lower garments of fine yellow silk. His banner bore the image of Garuda, and he wore a valuable crown and gleaming sharp earrings.
Yeah. So you can see here, when Lord Krishna came to Kashi here, and we know that here Paundraka and Kashiraj, both of them had now combined to fight with Krishna. So Kashipati or Kashiraj is said to be Parshnigraha. Parshnigraha. He was the one who looked after the rear guard. Ahead was Paundraka, and behind the army was commanded by Kashiraj. Parshnigraha, but it also means that Parshnigraha means one who is clandestine assistant to someone. That is a Parshnigraha. One who is he was always taking side of Pondrak, although Pondrak was such an evil person. So he had a lot of sympathy and affection for Pondrak, Parshnigraha. So he held the rear guard for this battle. He went also. 3 Akshohinis Sena he was leading. Pondrak was leading 2 Akshohinis Senas. And Apashat Pondrakam Harihi. Hari, Bhagwan Hari, Shri Krishna, he saw Pondraka. So usually scriptures, we see that a devotee or a demon seeing Krishna and Krishna's darshanam is described, right? Here, Krishna is seeing Pondraka and Pondraka's darshan is described. This is Pondraka's darshanam, whatever. It is not Sudarshanam, but it is Durdarshanam. Like that. So complete imitation of Krishna. Shankha, Ari, Asi, Gada, Padma. He was carrying Shankha Chakra, Gada, Padma, even the bow and arrow of Krishna. All imitations, all manufactured exactly like Krishna's. He must have gotten all the details from Dwarka, that how it looks, and he got them manufactured in his own factory, whatever it is, like that. In fact, Jiv Goswami says, Shrivatsadi Upalakshitam. You know, he had even imitation Shrivatsa mark. Basically, Pondrak had done even a hair transplant. we don't know if he went to which clinic, but he had done a hair transplant of Shrivatsa on his chest. We all know Shrivatsa is a mark of golden hair on Lord's right chest, right bosom, right part of Lord's chest. And left part, there is Lakshmi Rekha. These two are different marks. So Shrivatsa and Lakshmi Rekha. On both bosoms of the Lord, there are these two marks. So especially Shrivatsa is very prominent. So he had made imitation, Shrivatsa. Jiva Goswami says, Para Roma Ropanaya. Para Roma. He had taken some hairs from somewhere, Para Roma, and he had done Ropanam. Usko transplant kar diya tha usne. Like that. So that transplanting or pasting of artificial hair seems to be quite an old thing. Right. And as far as his two extra hands were there, they were not imitation. They were actually there. He had received them because of a benediction from Lord Shiva. Jiva Goswami says, Mahadeva Varapraptena, because he had pleased Lord Shiva by some austerity. So he had got this benediction. Padma Puran explains this, that he had got this benediction that he would be able to imitate Krishna. He would have 2 extra arms and he would be able to imitate Krishna. So those 2 were actually there. Of course, he's imitating them to be Vasudeva's arms. That is a false thing. But the point is, yes, arms were there. He had actually 4 hands. But Jiva Goswami says the objects in those hands were all duplicate. They were not true. Clothes, ornaments, decorations, they were all imitation. Pitambar was imitated. Kaustuba also was imitated. Vanamala was imitated. You can see everything he is imitating. Garuda Dhwaja Ratha was imitated. Makara, Kundala, everything. And that's why the last word that comes in these verses is Amulya Maulya Abharanam, right? Amulya. So he had this crown and these decorations which were Amulya, which means they were very valuable. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says because they were artificial, so Amulya should be translated as they were without any value. Amulya. He says, you cannot say that they were ati mulya, very valuable, invaluable. No, they were useless. Kritrima, right? Imitation jewelry is there sometimes. That is also very costly, but then still it is imitation finally. It cannot match the original, right? So here he says, Vishwanath says that these were actually without any value because kritrima, not natural. This particular way. Okay, fine. So further we will see as we go ahead. Hare Krishna. So I'll pause here. If there are any questions we can take, otherwise we can take a break for 15 minutes.
Hare Krishna. I have one question.
Yeah, yes, Sri Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu.
Yeah, that example of you're telling about that oyster, that analogy, oyster and silver. So here the oyster is compared to Poundrak and silver to Krishna. But in practical we see that oyster, this money, moti, they are quite valuable. They are considered to be like more valuable than like diamonds or like that because they are like precious stones. So that simply forms by the rains of Swati Nakshatra. So silver,
Yeah.
I felt that is more valuable than silver practical in practical life we see. More costly
Yeah.
also.
Got it. Shukti Rajata Nyaya. Shukti means, Prabhu, only the oyster. It does not mean oyster pearl. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it only means the oyster. Otherwise, if you see, pearl does not resemble silver, no, Prabhu. Pearl is, sometimes it may resemble also, but usually pearls can be golden also. Pearls can be anything, but oyster is typically silver. It looks like silver. So in that example, which is Shukti Rajata Nyaya, the comparison is being only done to that oyster, not to the oyster pearl. That's why it is only saying Shukti. It is not saying Shukti Mani or Shukti Moti. It is saying Shukti Rajata Nyaya. Okay, so that's how it is.
That is simply we say in Marathi that na. Shimpla.
Shimpla, that's it. Shimpla only. Yeah, Shimplatle Moti nahi.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Samapan Gop Prabhu, yeah.
This just wanted to know that Dwarkavasis are respecting that Brahmana, and so Brahmana is also becoming serious, and then these foolish people are taking him to be the. So it appears, and one more thing was there, right? Yeah. There appears the over respect is being given and people are misunderstanding it. So how do we actually not over respect or is over respect a problem? No, when we say that deho natha yatha yatha, right? As it behooves. So sometimes I have heard that actually what is the problem in giving more respect? It's always better to give more respect to people. However, when I study, I feel that over respecting is not so proper. So can you please tell something about this in some understanding?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As far as the Brahmana was concerned, Gopal Champu explains that Krishna is Brahmanya. So that's why Krishna very much loves the Brahmanas. He respects them. Sometimes those Brahmanas may be ignorant also. But then Krishna kept that Sadachar etiquette of keeping the respect of Brahmanas. So he was not stopped anywhere. Although it was known that they came to know that he's coming from this Karusha. There must have been some basic inquiry in the beginning, but he was not stopped. And then he just continued to go all the way up to Krishna's assembly. So that kind of respect was given because that's how Krishna taught them. A Brahmana means you should not stop him anywhere. He can enter anywhere. So they came and then he was respected. But then his message was like such a thing that although they did not disrespect him per se, but they laughed at the message very much. And then the Brahmana being loyal to Paundraka, so he felt somewhat offended, which is okay because anyway, he's following a bad master. That's how. So from Krishna's side or Dwarkavasi's side, they did not disrespect Brahmana in any way, but they made fun of his masters, no doubt, certainly. So now, although they knew that Brahmana is also following and he is also partisan of this Paundraka, still they respected him. So was it over respect? See, basically towards Brahmana, they followed that Sadachar. So that's how it is. They knew his position and they just followed the etiquette of Sadachar, although he was a evil Brahmana. In fact, he was destroyed. Vishnu Puran says the Brahmana was destroyed by the demon that was created later. He was also finished off this way. So he got the punishment of being from the side of this evil king. When Kritya meaning that demon created by Sudakshina, it will come ahead. When it went back, so then it killed Brahmana also. He was also finished. Everybody was finished this way. So Krishna followed that etiquette. Coming to in our life, over respect, is it a problem? See, Dehanath Yatha Yatha, certainly it is there. We hear, Lord Chaitanya is saying, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Mani Namana Dena, like that. So, Manada, one is very much always offering respect to everyone this way. So, what I feel is, if one has a service where one is in that position where one should tell a person, educate a person, he should tell that this is correct, this is not correct. And accordingly, if a person is behaving with everyone because he knows everyone's position and he knows how to offer respect to a person in that manner. So if you have a role like that, a role of an educator or guru or a senior who is taking care of subordinates, so then it is very genuine that one offers respect in that particular way, yatha yatha. See, first and foremost is that the intention is always that one is very respectful towards a Vaishnava, no doubt. That intention should always be there. We don't have an evil intention only. And then we do a sadachar of just practicing. That is also not very useful. Of course, it should be done. But then first and foremost is genuineness of intention. So now with genuineness of intention, the respect which is offered and even the correction that is offered, if you are an appropriate authority, so that will serve the purpose. It will help actually. So the others, those who don't have that kind of role, they may just continue to be very respectful because they don't have that service. They don't have to correct anyone or that particular person. But if one has a service like that, so seeing his adhikar, seeing his service field, then one should see this aspect that, yeah, one is not just unnecessarily over respected, which is causing some sort of misconception about the whole thing. So like here in this particular instance, giving the due respect to Brahmana or probably even over respect, it is not causing any sort of trouble over here, nothing of that sort. But if we see a person who is not genuine, a person who is lacking that kind of level and he just trying to imitate, and then people are also taking such a person seriously and trying to make a role model or like that. And if we have a service where we need to educate people for the right standard of following the right standard of respect and all, then we may do that. And we see people like spiritual master and all, right? They do that all the time. They know how to respect an individual, to what extent and all this way. So shrewdness in terms of that, I think it will never be considered as a sign of arrogance or sign of lacking respect, provided the genuine intention is there. There is absolutely no issue with the heart. In the heart, he does not feel like, oh, why should I respect this person? Or has some sort of envy is there, jealousy is there, some other negative emotion is there. He is genuinely happy to see everyone respected, getting respected. But then he has a service where he also has to see this aspect of just people should not misunderstand somebody beyond what level he is, because then they may try to sort of imitate and may try to take wrong inspirations and all that. So if we have a role like that, then I think it is good. Such a person should make sure that people are educated in that. When that scholar came in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when that scholar came, big scholar from Navadvip came, in Swarup Damodar's assembly and all in Jagannath Puri, and everybody was just glorifying him. Oh, what a poet, what a great Sthavar Jagannath, Jangam Jagannath, that person, Jad Jagannath and Jangam Jagannath. So one thing is ignorance. Out of ignorance, also sometimes people may respect a lot that way. But then Swarup Damodar dealt with him in a very proper way, right? So although basic etiquette was kept, but because Swarup Damodar has that role, so he did it. And he showed his level to that particular person, because that was something which was just wrong. His Siddhanta was very much wrong. But if that kind of disadvantage is not happening, that kind of risk is not there, so we don't mind somebody is getting respect, even sometimes over respect, no problem. If we are not seeing some sort of big disadvantage of that, then we are okay. This is what I say.
Yes, yes, Pradeep. Thank you for clarification. Just some things coming to my mind that in previous times in ISKCON, so some people, maybe at a very high level, they were doing something inappropriate.
Yeah,
And they were considered, oh, it's their Leela, like many Gulf of people, many people went with that wrong understanding of that.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
such things also happened. Like now, Pandrak has followers, means they are genuine followers.
Yeah.
So actually, it appears that means one has to be.
But Krishna is punishing, no, Prabhu? I mean, why do you feel that Krishna is allowing it?
Sure, means in this pastime it is okay. I am saying when it comes to society like us, so
Yeah.
like such cases are there. Means one case I know, but there can be many other also.
No, I know, absolutely. There are a lot of such cases in history of Islam. Yeah.
So
So, Prabhu,
innocent people become attracted because they are innocent,
absolutely.
they will respect, So, it
No,
can.
that's what. So if one has that kind of Prabhu service, one is in that position and one has that full proper understanding of person's level. So something like which even ISKCON history shows, some things were disastrous. A person who is having trouble with basic regulatory principles is being seen as a Mahabhagavata. And then some of the people who pointed that out, they were sometimes expelled. They were thought to be like fools or offensive people. So such things have happened. I agree, no doubt. So actually, you call a spade a spade, provided it is your service to call a spade a spade. It is, that's what is basically you have been assigned that task. So if that is there, why not then? Yes, the reality should be told to people. We can't allow people to be misled by somebody who is doing a great disservice. So I do think, Prabhu, that if we have that kind of an authority, then neglecting that will be a disservice.
Yes, bro, that part is clear that if role is there, then if role is not there, then we should keep quiet and offer whatever we can offer genuinely.
We can offer prayers. Yeah.
Okay.
We can offer prayers. Because, yeah, if that adhikar is not there, even in terms of the service, I'm saying, the person may be adhikari because he may be more advanced also. But I'm saying if he has not been given that role, then that can cause a lot of disruption. People might feel like, okay, what is this person's qualification? And then because he does not have that qualification, people will not believe it also.
Yes.
So all these disruptions may
Yes,
happen. That's the
very true. Means I fondly remember, I think there was some once Radhesham's birthday was there. You don't know that incidents that some.
Yeah, so incident is okay, Prabhu. Yeah, I
I'm
got your
just saying
principle.
that he very clearly said that this is not for, this is wrong thing. You should do this for Guru. So that was.
I agree with you. Then. Yeah, I agree.
Clearly communicated, educated, as you said, role wise.
True.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was a good question. Radha Kunj Bihari, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dharma.
Something related to what conversations have been going on. Paundraka, on the other hand, how much he should have been thinking about Masudev to imitate him so much. And
Yeah, he was.
is there any praise about that? Because for us, where we stand, to even laugh at him is brutal. It looks like,
No,
because
that's
how
not
much?
right. No, that's not the Siddhanta. See, that's not right. Yeah, because no. See, you have to understand that the absorption of these demons is glorified, certainly. Later, towards the end of this chapter, there is a Falashruti where it is talking about this also. So, okay, we want to take some negative inspiration even from Paundraka. That is wonderful. No problem. We can take. But was he an evil person? As a devotee, Prabhu, if Paundraka is smashed and he is, what you say, he is smashed by Krishna and Krishna is making fun of him, we are happy actually as a devotee. We are devotee party. So why should we be sad with that in any way? Of course, I do understand that we also see some good in that also, that he was so absorbed in Krishna. And that glory is mentioned, Prabhu. He got Sarupya. He was so absorbed in Krishna that he got Sarupya Mukti. So we very much appreciate that point. And this whole discussion is there in 7th canto, 1st chapter, right? We talk about Shishupal Dantavakra, how they got this one. But then even in that section, Narad Muni glorifies, the aspect of bhakti, positive bhakti only. We never ever glorify the ways of these demons in any way and all. And of course, you yourself know these things. But what I'm trying to say is, feeling the joy of a defeat of a demon by Krishna is very natural for a devotee. Uh, he is like delighted with that particular thing. The compassion aspect also is there. Oh, actually, what's so unfortunate that this person, he was there when Krishna was there, but then he had so many wrong ideas. That is there. But then this idea of being also that how Krishna taught him a lesson, how this person was imitating and all that. So because it is unfavorable, no, Prabhu. So that's why making a fun of that by the devotees or relishing that description by us is not going to be any dusha. This is the point. Make sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Any history about Paundraka given, like, what he was in the past, that he got such a, at least to this position?
Not in my knowledge, Prabhu. I looked at Vishnu Purana, Harivamsha, and also all the commentaries, at least not there. If it is there in some other Purana apart from this, maybe it is. But the demons in Vrindavan, they are analyzed for their past histories a lot. Demons in Dwaraka, they have not so much been analyzed. Even Bhakti Vedanta doesn't speak about demons in Dwaraka so much.
Because
Demons in Vrindavan.
all the other demons, at least, they are going clearly negative against him. But here, the way of negative itself is something very unique, where he is imitating the Lord himself as a negative.
You want to say some good in that, Prabhu, it is okay. I appreciate that. But then the point is that as per Shastras, Prabhu, it was condemned actually, imitation. The other demons are better off because they did not imitate Krishna. I can show you so many references where the imitation is being condemned rather than glorified. Because how can you imitate Krishna? Come on, you want to challenge him as another powerful king, it's okay. But you want to imitate and call yourself Vasudev. That is most heinous thing within demons also. But it is glory of Krishna that in spite of that, because he was so much absorbed in him, Krishna, that's what Krishna is, the Ashcharya Maya. To such a person, he is giving Sarupya. Who wants to imitate him, claim himself to be like him, wants to kill him, wants to kill Dwarkavasis, and just see this Krishna Hatari Gati Dayaka, what kind of person he is. Extraordinary glory that still he is ready to give him Sarupya. So this is how, Prabhu. Amongst the demons, they all have inimical nature, no doubt. Some of them, they got the destinations like Sarupya. Some of them didn't get that. Some of them only got Sayuja, like that. Krishna can give any destination. It's up to him. Hatari Gati Dayaka means that Gati can be anything from Sayujya all the way up to Prema Parshad. He can give anything. It is up to him. This is not with Vishnu. Vishnu does not give Gati like this. Hatari Gati Dayaka is also quality of Vishnu. It is, I think, 60th quality. So, Hata Ari Gati Dayaka. Killing the Ari, enemy, he gives Gati. So, this is also quality of Vishnu. But then in that case, Gati means what? Vishnu gives Gati like sending the demon to heavens or destroying all his sins and giving him a birth in Satya Yuga. This is how Vishnu deals with them. But Krishna, Sayujya is like bare minimum for him. And then from there further only he, Sayujya, Salokya, and somebody like Putana, Prem Parshad, forget it, Goloka. So Krishna is like, okay, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay, I
Hare
think we should pause here. Sachindan Bhagavan Prabhu, we'll begin with your question after the break.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, so let's take 15 minutes break and then we are reassemble. It is 12:35, 12:36. Okay, so we will assemble at 12:50. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So Chandran Bhagavan Prabhu will take your question and proceed.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Through this attitude of claiming himself as God in front of, means Lord is always there, Lord was there. So how can somebody so much that grossly he is imitating and thinking himself as God? So we hear that like Maya's last weapon is that somebody can think himself as to be God. So is it that, or how somebody like he is doing it? How to understand it?
Yeah, see, that's what is the demoniac nature, no? Demoniac nature is where one thinks himself to be the Lord, the master of whatever he surveys, he wants to enjoy. He thinks like that. And then within that, the highest manifestation, most condemned manifestation is one is thinking that he himself is God. So it is the manifestation of demoniac mentality to the utmost degree. And this particular Pontrak, as I said, we don't have much insight into his prior life. But then point is that he had that kind of demoniac mentality. And because of the bad association, it all the more got further rekindled, further kindled and further rekindled. The kind of association he was in, everybody, they were ignorant fools. And obviously they must be getting their purposes served also from Pondrak and all. So that association was so bad of ignorant and evil people, like Kamsa's association was also like that. So that is very condemned. So similarly, Pondraka's association is also very much condemned. Pondraka's association was people like Jarasandha. Jarasandha was also very dear to him. This Kashiraj was dear to him, and all such evil people are there. So in Pondraka's case also, this association aspect is a bit highlighted within the commentaries. So yes, the demons, they have that demoniac nature. And when it is furthermore pampered and nourished by people who are surrounding, calling also, doing Jai Jakar and thinking like that. So then he also started believing those words. He also thought, yes, I am like that. So we see there is innate evil mentality within him, and there is this effect of association. So that's why actually, even if somebody has some sort of evil behavior or evil nature, but at least he should be in good association. Within a good association, that particular nature will be corrected. Even if one is having that, he will, because the association around is so good, that person will know this is not good. I should give it up. This is actually an evil attitude this way. But here in his case, the surrounding people, his friends and all, instead of curbing that attitude, they further encouraged and nourished that attitude. So then he just started thinking like that. And thinking like this, he performed tapasya to Shiva, where he received a benediction that, okay, you will be able to imitate the ways of Vasudeva, like that. Lord Shiva also didn't say that you are Vasudeva or like that, but yeah, you will be able to imitate the appearance and objects of Krishna like that. So that's how he was exactly like Krishna in appearance. He was like a duplicate that way. So yes, bro, these 2 points, at least based on commentaries, I can share. His own evil nature and the association about surrounding. Okay.
Okay, so this is last snare of Maya. Like this only we can conclude.
Yeah, last snare of Maya. See, Prabhupada, those are Prabhupada's words. So he thinks, I mean, Prabhupada speaks about last snare of Maya, especially for somebody who has the subtle way of claiming himself as God. And what is that? That is Mayavad. Where one may not say that, one may not start imitating Krishna exactly, or one may start also in Kali Yuga, but in general, it's a very subtle way. They may make an appearance of a devotee very nicely. Mayavadis also may show like they are chanting Hare Krishna and all that. But then subtly there is this aspect that they think that they are Ishwaras, they are not different. Ishwara is himself Maya. It's a complicated ideology. Anyway, last snare of Maya, Prabhupada says, is yes, one starts declaring himself as God, especially through the ideology like Mayavad. So, yes, in that way you can compare. Here,
Okay.
we will not say that Pondraka was a Mayavadi or like that. He was just a direct imitator. He directly claimed himself to be God. While a Mayavadi claims himself God in a very, the Mayavadi is a philosophical snare, and this is a direct snare. He is directly calling himself as Bhagavan this way. So that's how it is.
Okay, thank you.
So I think I should pause here at this point, and I will take the questions again in the end, if all of you are okay. But I think we should proceed here with the session because we wish to also complete this chapter. But I'm okay with your questions. I mean, I'm okay with these questions to be taken in the end. So if we have the time, we will. So, okay, I'm again sharing the screen. So, yeah, so in this way, Krishna observed Pondraka. He had heard about it. The army of Krishna had heard about him, how this Pondraka is an imitator. But they had not seen him personally. Of course, Krishna is Sarvagya, he knows everything. But the point is, when he came in the presence of Pondraka, so he was like, yeah, he was also amazed to see, oh, what an imitation. Fantastic imitation he has done. So what he had heard, Krishna or his army, what they had heard about Pondraka and what he was in actuality, that surprised them because yes, he saw that, oh, what a perfect imitation it is, right? Like sometimes you may see duplicate of a person and wonder who is actually true, whether the duplicate is true or the true is true. Right? Those doppelgangers are sometimes unrecognizable. They cannot be recognized. So this is how. So Krishna, now text 15, you can see. Drishtva tamatmanastulyam vesham kritrimam asthitam yatha natam rangagatam vijahasa brisham harihi. Yes, Mataji, continue.
Lord laughed heartily when he saw how the king had dressed up in exact imitation of his own appearance, just like an actor on a stage.
Yeah. So, Lord was very surprised and like he laughed heartily. He had heard about Pondraka and he had laughed heartily. He had heard his message and he had laughed heartily. And you can see now this is zenith of all laughter by seeing him directly. This is summit of all that. So, because everything was kritrima, isn't it? See, drishtva tam atmanas tulyam vesham kritrimam. Kidrisha vesha kritrimah. It was completely artificial, everything. So by that, Srila Jiva Goswami says, for Krishna, by that word Kritrima, we can understand all his Vesha. For Krishna, all his Vesha and ornaments, they are not Kritrima. They are Swabhavika. They are very natural for him. Meaning, Lord's conch, Lord's Padma that he holds in his hands, they're naturally manifested. He doesn't have to carry them. He doesn't have to keep them aside. He doesn't have to place them somewhere. He just manifests them and unmanifests them. That's it. Even the two hands that he has, whenever he wants in Dwarka, he manifests those hands. Two extra hands, I'm saying. So that's how 4 hands. Otherwise, most of the times he also has 2 hands in Dwaraka. He sometimes manifests 2 hands more. So that becomes 4 hands. So Kritrima. So Kritrima versus Swabhavik. For Krishna, it is Swabhavika, but for this person, it was Kritrima. So that's why he is said to be an actor. Yatha natam rangagatam. Just like a nata is there, like an actor is there. So it's not like the role that is being played by an actor. He is that person. Somebody may play a role of a great king, some great king like Yudhishthira, or like Tukaram, like some saint or whatever. Like basically, I mean, one can play any role, and in that role, one may be very good as an actor, like that. But the person is different, no? Person is different. That actor is different. So this way, anyone could understand. Prabhupada describes this scene. Anyone could understand that he was, meaning Pondak was just like someone on a stage playing the part of Vasudeva in false dress. Lord could not check his laughter, that's why. And he laughed with great satisfaction. Srila Jiva Goswami points out that it was a benediction from Lord Shiva that enabled Pondraka to imitate the Lord's dress and appearance exactly. A fact gleaned from the Uttarakhanda of Sri Padma Puran. So yes, by Lord Shiva's benediction, he had 2 extra arms, and he was a lookalike of Krishna, no doubt. Shulair Gadabhi Parighai Shaktyarshti Prasaro Tomaraihi Asibhi Patti Shair Varnai Praharan Narayo Harim. Yeah. Please read.
The enemy.
Krishna Mataji. Yeah. You have to read till text 20. Okay.
Yeah. The enemies of Lord Hari attacked him with tridents, clubs, budgeons, pikes, rishtis, barbed darts, lances, swords, axes, and arrows.
Yeah, so all these enemy soldiers, they started attacking Krishna with all these different kinds of weapons, shula and clubs and pikes, bludgeons, and so many of these things. Praharan, and they attacked Krishna. Krishnastu tat paundrakakashirajayor balam gajasyandana pattimat gadasi chakre shubhir ardayat bhrasham yatha yugante hutabhuka prathak praja.
But Lord Krishna fiercely struck back at the enemy of Pondraka and Kashiraj, which consisted of elephants, chariots, chivalry, and infantry. The Lord tormented his enemies with his clubs, swords, sudarshan, disc, and arrows, just as the fire of annihilation torments the various kinds of creatures at the end of a cosmic age.
Thank you. So, when in this way Krishna was attacked by the armies of Pondraka and Kashiraja, and that army was Chaturangini Sena. It was a 4-fold army. It had these 4 divisions of Gaja, elephants, Sandana, chariots, Vaji, horses, Patti, foot soldiers. Infantry was there, cavalry was there, chariots were there, and elephants were also there. So 4-fold army, it attacked. So Krishna, he fought back, and by his gada, by his sword, and by his Sudarshan Chakra, he employed all his weapons. He started annihilating this army. Ardayat, it is said. He started annihilating. See, prior verse, when it talked about Krishna against the army, it is said opposite army soldiers only praharan. They only attacked Krishna. They only attacked Krishna. They could not do any harm to him. But here, Jiva Goswami says is ardayat. Krishna annihilated them. So, Krishna was fighting in full fury, and he just annihilated them completely. So this particular annihilation is compared to one drishtanta, and that drishtanta is yatha yugante hutabhuka prathak praja. Just like when the universal annihilation comes, we see that the hutabhuk, which is the fire of devastation, the Agni coming from the mouth of Sankarshana. So that Huta Bhuka, Prithak Praja, it destroys all the Praja. How it destroys? It just destroys clean. It just finishes it off, right? So why the Drishtant is given of universal devastation fire is because the four kinds of living entities are there in that Praja. Four kinds of living entities which are destroyed by the universal fire of devastation. Similarly, four divisions of army were destroyed by Krishna's Gada and Krishna's sword and everything. So what are four kinds of living entities? You know that four kinds of living entities is Svedaja, Udbhija, then Andaja and Jarayuj. Living entities which are born from sweat, living entities which are born from seeds, living entities which are born from egg, and living entities which are born as an offspring, directly offsprings. So all these sort of living entities, they are burnt by the fire of devastation. So that's how these fourfold divisions also were destroyed by Krishna's Gada. And also a fierce battle began where Krishna started tormenting and annihilating his armies, his enemies' armies with club, sword, Sudarshana and everything, all these. All these are personalities also, right? All of you are aware. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and all the weapons also, they are all personalities. So when they fight, they appear as personalities there. They appear as those objects also, and they appear as personalities also. So Nandaka is a person. Gada, which is Krishna's Kaumudaki, that's a person. Similarly, Shanga also, Sudarshan also, everyone. So this is how. Ayodhanam tad rathavaji kunjara vipad kharoshtrair arinavakhanditaih babhauchitam modavaham manasvinam akridanam bhutapatairivolbanam. Yeah.
The battlefield strewn with the dismembered chariots, horses, elephants, humans, mules, and camels that had been cut to pieces by the Lord's disc weapon shone like the gruesome playground of Lord Bhutapati, giving pleasure to the wise.
Yeah. So this complete battlefield, Ayodhanam, it was like Bhutapatehe Akridanam. It was like a playground of Bhutapati Rudra, how he destroys everything in the end. So how he just finishes off everything. So just like that, here it was like Rudra, that Rudragni was destroying everything. It was like that. It was like devastation. So all these divisions of army, different divisions were being finished off. So those are mentioned also. Ratha, meaning chariots, Vaji means horses, Kunjara means elephants, Dvipat means foot soldiers. And then it is mentioned Khara. So Khara means mules and Ushtra means camels. So there were these warriors also actually who were using mules and camels in their army. So typically in army, the order Jiva Goswami says is whatever order is mentioned, that's how they proceeded. Meaning in the army, the first rank of soldiers were the chariot holders. So Ratha, they led the way. After Rathas, there was cavalry. After that, there were elephants. After that, there were foot soldiers. Not like first you put foot soldiers and, make them die, poor foot soldiers, infantry, like that. No. So the most powerful were the Rathis, you can say chariot warriors, Rathis, warriors who are fighting, sitting on the chariot or standing on the chariot. So these warriors, they were ahead, first rank, then horses. then elephants, then foot soldiers, then mules, and then finally camels. So Krishna's Sudarshan also killed them in the same order. Whoever came ahead, Krishna's Sudarshan also killed them in the same order. First, all the charioteers and chariot warriors were finished off, and then further cavalry was finished off. And all. So this whole battlefield turned into a deadly place actually. Ulbanam, it was very fearsome sight. When Krishna enjoys Viryaras, then he enjoys Viryaras also to the fullest extent. So it became like a fearful sight, Ulbanam. But those who were Manasvis, those who were Manasvis, those who were brave soldiers, for them it was Modavaham. It was what? It was very pleasure giving. For a Kshatriya, the sight of blood and fighting opportunity is very pleasurable. For somebody who is not Kshatriya, then for such people it is very terrible, right? Manasvinam satsam prahara. Even in the first canto, 13th chapter, when Mother Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they are leaving the palace, and they are going to, they left the palace and they went to Himalayas. It is, there Suta Goswami says, it was like Manasvinam satsam prahara. Just as the brave, courageous soldiers, even if they are delicate, they are not fully grown Kshatriya men, and they may be just in Paugandavastha, they may be 11 years old or 15 years old, but Kshatriyas find a great delight in fighting, right? So similarly, it is mentioned there that Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they found great delight in that path of Himalayam Nyasta Danda Praharsham. So the point is that for someone who may find the whole thing like renunciation as very ghastly, but for the one whose renunciation in the heart has been awakened, that path is a great joy. It's a path of great joy, actually. So that renunciation having been awakened with Dhritarashtra, in Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, now they relished going to Himalaya. Although the path of Himalaya and stay in Himalaya is not very easy that way. So that's how those who are warriors, they enjoy this. So even as a devotee, right? If we are sadhakas, there is a struggle with mind and senses, but we are like those kshatriyas. We want to fight this battle. We relish fighting this battle against Maya. So that's that kind of nature. Whether somebody is a grahastha or brahmachari, whatever. The point is, right? Prabhupada says that the war must go on in the 8th canto. Prabhupada says, one situates himself in a natural element and one fights a war. So similarly, the war against Maya goes on, whether one is in any ashram, that is fine. But one relishes that. One relishes that. Even in sadhana level, the bhakti is very delightful, provided we have the right understanding and we have the right association. Like that. Bhaktim paramaya muda, it is said in the first canto also. Vasudeve kurvanti bhaktim paramaya muda atma prasadani. Like that. So bhakti in sadhankal also is very pleasurable. Okay, fine. Can we come back here? Atah paundrakam shaurir bho paundraka yad bhavan duta vakyena mamaha tanyastrani utsrijamite. Yeah.
Lord Krishna then addressed Pondraka. My dear Pondraka, the very weapons you spoke of through your messenger, I now release unto you.
Yeah. So, having finished off the army of these Kashiraj and these people, so now Krishna was directly in front of Paundraka. Krishna was there in front of him. Atha means that having finished the army of the soldiers. So Lord Krishna came in front of Paundraka. Like that. And then he said, Bho Bho Paundraka. So Bho is actually quite a respectful Sambodhana. Bho is respectful. Krishna should have a Re Re Paundrak instead of Bho Bho Paundrak. But he is not saying Re Re Paundrak. So Srila Jiva Goswami says that, well, he was making fun of Paundraka. Oh, respectable Paundraka, here I am come in front of you. Hey Mahatma, I am here in front of you. So now, Yad Bhavan Duta Vakyena Mama, you had sent me that message, no? And you had told me that, okay, give up your weapons, right? So here I am now giving up those weapons. Tani astrani. He had said, no, tyaja, chinnani tyaja. Give up your chinnas, give up your weapons and all other symbols. So whatever you had sent here, you had said, here I am now doing it. Tani astrani utsrijami. I am releasing these weapons, but I am releasing them on you. That is the unfortunate thing. Like that. So that's how Krishna started chastising Paundraka. He ridiculed him, and then he reminded him the words of his message, and now was ready to act on that this way. So Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna book, at this time Lord Krishna told Paundraka, you requested me to give up the symbols of Lord Vishnu, specifically my disc. Now I will give it up to you. Be careful. You falsely declare yourself Vasudeva, imitating me, therefore no one is a greater fool than you. From this statement of Krishna's, it is clear that any rascal who advertises himself as God is the greatest fool in human society. Text 20. Tyajaishe vidhanam me yatvayadnya mrishadhritam vrajami sharanam tedya yadinechami samyugam. So now, Radha Kunj Bihari Prabhu can read. Text 21. Or was it? Okay, this
20.
is text 20. Okay, so Mataji, please read this much.
Oh, fool! Now I shall make you renounce my name, which you have falsely assumed, and I'll certainly take shelter of you if I do not wish to fight you.
Yeah. So Krishna reminded all the words that he had written. So he enjoys that Virya Rasa. So he remembered all the words of the letter and he wants to give it back. He wants to settle the account very well, even in talking this way. So Tyaja Ishya Abhidhanam me, right? You had said Tyaja. So yes, Tyaja Ishya. I will also make you give up. And not I will give up, but I will make you give up that false name that you have taken of mine. Tvaya Adnya Mrishadhritam. Falsely you have taken my name and my title and my symbols and everything. Today I will make you give it up like that. And if I don't wish to fight, then I will take shelter of you. Vrajami Sharanam Tedya. I will take shelter of you if I don't wish to fight. But unfortunately, I wish to fight. It's like that. He is saying like that. Yadi nechami sanyogam. If I don't wish to fight you, then I will take shelter of you. So you do you desire to fight or not? No, I desire to fight. So that's how it is spoken. Text 21. Iti kshiptva shitair banair. Iti kshiptva shitair banair. Virathi kritya paundrakam. Shiro vrashchadrathangena. Vajrenendro yatha girehe. Okay, Prabhu, you can read.
Having thus derided Paundraka, Lord Krishna destroyed his chariot with his sharp arrows. Then the Lord then cut off his head with the Sudarshan Chak disc, just as Lord Indra lops off a mountain peak with his thunderbolt weapon.
Jai Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. So that's deliverance of Paundraka. Iti kshiptva. So Krishna derided derided him in these words, and then by his very sharp arrows, Shitair Banair. First, he made him Virathi Kritya, and he destroyed his chariot only. He destroyed his chariot simultaneously, and then by his disc. So simultaneously, he used everything. He used his disc also, and he used his banas also, meaning the arrows. So arrows destroyed his chariot and everything, and his disc, it Sudarshan Chakra, it cut off the head. It beheaded Paundraka. Shiro Avraschat Rathangen. Rathanga, which means Sudarshan Chakra. So it destroyed Paundraka by beheading him. Vajrena Indro Yatha Gire, just as Drishtanta is given, just as Indra, he destroys the mountains, he cuts off the mountains or the wings of the mountains, Indra. So similarly, Krishna also cut off the head of this Paundraka by his Sudarshan Chakra. Yes, so that's how Krishna killed him, by his Sudarshan Chakra. He wanted those weapons to be released, so Krishna released that, especially Sudarshan Chakra, and he made him release his own weapons. Krishna made him release Paundraka's own weapons and chinnas and everything. So he fulfilled his desire in that way, in the sense that Saraswatartha, Saraswati Abhimatharth, he fulfilled that. Text 22. Tatha Kashipate Kayat Shira Utkritya Patribhihi Nyapatayat Kashipuryam Padmakosham Ivanilaha.
With his arrows, Lord Krishna similarly severed Kashi Raja's head from his body, sending it flying into Kashi city like a lotus flower thrown by the wind.
Yeah. And then after the main antagonist was killed, now his accomplice also, right? Now his assistant also, this Kashi Raj. So then Krishna turned his attention on Kashi Raj. Tatha Kashipate he Kayat Shira Utkritya Patribhi. So as far as Kashiraj is there, what Lord Krishna did is, he, by his arrows, he killed, or rather he uprooted, severed the head of this person, Kashiraj. Or it can also mean that he severed it by Sudarshana, and he threw it by the arrows. Patribhi Nyapatayat. He also beheaded Kashiraj, and then he picked up that particular head through his arrows, Patribhi, and he made it fall right in front of the main gate of the palace, the royal palace. The Kashiraj's palace was there in the center of the city. So he made that head of the Kashiraj fall directly in front of the palace, where there were so many people who were waiting to hear the news of, okay, what's happening, what's the result of the battlefield, like that. That way. So when that head actually fell in front of the city palace of the king Kashiraj, first the citizens thought that some lotuses have fallen from the heavens. They just thought that, or what fell exactly? So they thought that Kashiraj has won and demigods are throwing lotuses from top. Demigods are doing some pushpa vrishti on him. That's how looks like this is demigods lotus on our Kashiraj, because he has killed Dwarkadhish and thus he has become victorious. So that's what they felt. So Jiva Goswami says, so they ran to pick up that lotus, saying, Are mera hai, mera hai, mera hai, like that. But then when they went near, then they saw, oh, this is a head actually. This is a head. And that too, then they realized, oh, this is Kashiraja's head only. And then they were devastated, actually, devastated. They thought, my God, we thought Kashiraj has killed Dwarkadesh, but this is not lotus. This is neither Dwarkadesh's head. This is head of our own beloved king. So it just whole thing became a pandemonium there. Ha ha ha! Hi hi hi! They started shouting, "Oh, this is Kashiraja's head. Actually, our king is dead." So everybody came running to that place. Krishna's placing that particular head in the front of Kashi's palace, the royal palace. Drishtant is given as Padma Kosham Ivanila. Padma Kosham Ivanila. Just as the wind or the air carries the Padma Kosha, that carries the nectar in the lotus, the parag in the lotus. What will you call it? What's the English word? Padma Kosha. I forgot it. So the wind carries these small parts in the lotus, which are like tentacles on lotus. So that was carried by the wind or by the air.
Lotus
So
petals.
why? No, not petals. Pollen. Pollen is the word. Pollen. Basically, parag. Padma Kosh means parag or pollen. So that was carried by the wind. So why the wind or the air has been compared? Because just as air is invisible, similarly, Jiva Goswami says that when this particular head was carried, so Lord Krishna was invisible. Nobody could see that, okay, how or from where or who threw this head. This head is thrown by whom? And they just saw that the particular head was thrown and even the arrows disappeared. And the arrows which had thrown that head, they disappeared and went back into Krishna's quiver, Krishna's arsenal. So the arrows disappeared and Krishna was also invisible. So you can see the Karta is invisible and Karan is also invisible. The doer is invisible, one who has done that act, and also the instrument is invisible. So just as air is invisible while carrying the Padma Kosha, so similarly, Lord and the arrows were not seen by them. So that's why it is compared to the air this way. Why was it thrown by the Lord in that particular manner? So Vishwanath Chakravarti tells why Lord made sure that, like, he did not throw Paundraka's head, right? That was lying there. But he did throw Kashiraja's head directly in front of the city palace. And why did he why did he do so? So that is told by Vishwanath Chakravarti, which is also mentioned in purport. So Prabhu, you read this highlighted portion of purport. You can see it or no? My screen.
Yes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains why Krishna threw Kasiraja's head into the city. As he went off to battle, the king of Kashi had promised the citizens, "My dear residents of Kashi, today I will bring the enemy's head into the midst of the city. Have no doubt of this." The king's sinful queens had also boasted to their maids in waiting, "Today our master will certainly bring the head of the Lord of Dwarka." Therefore, the Supreme Lord threw the king's head into the city to astonish the inhabitants.
Yeah, so you see, there was a lot of boasting going on. So the king of Kashi had boasted to his citizens and palace residents that, hey, I will bring Krishna's head. You see, remember, I will throw it in the city. So that's how they thought that probably it was Dwarkadish's head, like that. And then the queen, after king departed, then the queens, they were boasting so much. They were telling to their dasis and all that. Our king is so powerful. Today you see what he does. Like that. So then Krishna said, okay, so much of boasting. and also then he threw the king's head into the city, so that they see that who is powerful and who is who is going to behead whom this way. So that's how. Text 23. Evam matsarinam hatva paundrakam sa sakham harihi dwarakama vishat siddhair giyamana kathamritah.
Having thus killed envious Paundraka and his ally, Lord Krishna returned to Dwaraka. As he entered the city, the Siddhas of heaven chanted his immortal nectarian glories.
So in this way, that Matsari, Paundraka was a Matsari. He was greatly envious of Krishna, demonstrated that quality of envy of Krishna, so much so that he wanted to imitate Krishna, claim himself to be Krishna. So Paundrakam and Sasakham, Krishna also killed Kashiraj and Paundraka. And in this way, when this fight was happening, a lot of Siddhas had gathered there, watching it from the skies. So glorified by those Siddhas, Krishna, he entered into Dwaraka. Dhiyamana Kathamritaha. His glories were being sung by the Siddhas, and in that way, he entered Dwaraka. Text 24. Sanityam Bhagavadhyana Pradhvastakhila Bandhanaha Vibhranascha Hare Rajan Swarupam Tanmayo Bhavat. Yeah. You are facing any issues, bro?
No, sorry, Prabhu. I just moved the screen a little faster. By constantly meditating upon the Supreme Lord, Paundraka shattered all his material bonds. Indeed, by imitating Lord Krishna's appearance, O King, he ultimately became Krishna conscious.
Yeah. So you can see this verse mentions that how he attained Sarupya. Sa Nityam Bhagavad Dhyana Pradhvasta Khila Bandhana. He was constantly, because of his imitation, he was constantly meditating on Krishna's ways and mannerisms and everything. In fact, he's so much so that he identified only himself like that. So he was absorbed in Krishna in that way because he was constantly remembering, okay, this is how I should talk, this is how I should speak, this is how I am Vasudev, so this is how. So he had practically possessed, he was practically possessing all the mannerisms and the way Krishna smiles, the way Krishna talks, walks, dresses, everything he was trying to imitate. So it had caused constant meditation on Krishna's name, form, dress, qualities, and all that. And obviously, he also wanted to get rid of Krishna. So that was in his mind always. Pradhvasta khila bandhana. So in this way, he was freed from all the contamination within his heart of trying to kill Krishna, desiring to kill Krishna. So because he constantly meditated on Krishna in that way, he was constantly in that kind of meditation. So that's why full absorption of Krishna was there in him. And he attained Swarupam Tanmayo Bhavat. Bibhranaha Swarupam. He was even imitating the form of the Lord and dress and mannerisms and everything. So that's why Tanmayo Bhavat. He became Tanmaya, which means Krishnamaya. He just became Krishnamaya completely this way. So his complete absorption, Jiva Goswami says, is Tanmayaha Prachuryena. He was Prachuryena. He was like just fully Krishna conscious in that sense of negativity and negative absorption in Krishna. So that's why he was awarded Sarupya Mukti, because he imitated Krishna by imitating Krishna's Rupa, and he was purified by that constant absorption in Krishna. And finally, he was also killed by Krishna. So that whole action of killing by Krishna, and then this constant meditation and all that. So in this way, we see that he was just all his contamination was destroyed, and he achieved the sarupya. You know, sometimes a demon may have a lot of absorption in Krishna, but if he is not killed by Krishna, he may not achieve such destination. That is the point. Krishna should also kill him. Like Vena was also very envious of Krishna, but he was not absorbed like Shishupal or this person, Paundraka, or like. So then Krishna did not kill him this way. So demons may have a lot of negative mentality in them, but these are like, you can say, demons who by their own envy of Krishna had like so much of absorption in Krishna, which was negative, like that. So it is undesirable. It is not at all recommended. But then the point is that, yes, sometimes that envy can be of such nature that one is having such an absorption. And then when Krishna kills such a person, then he can give such a person sarupya also. So which also happened in case of Paundraka. See, this is not, this is special quality of Krishna. There is a Vishnu Puran, Vishnu Puran Parashar Muni discusses this. He discusses these three cases of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, then Ravan Kumbhakarna, and finally Shishupal Dantavakra. And Parashar Muni himself finally tells that this is how Krishna's nature is actually. The attraction that he can inspire within a demon is so extraordinary, and the benediction that he can offer by killing the demon is also so extraordinary that we see that he can offer liberations also to the demons. This is a big Siddhanta point actually. Even other sampradayas have big difficulty in understanding this Siddhanta. How can Krishna kill a demon and send him back home? This is a problem for even Vaishnava sampradayas to understand. But we see that it is corroborated by Vishnu Puran, and it is also corroborated by Bhagavatam, Padma Puran, and Bhagavad Puran. And it is very much analyzed by our acharyas also, Hatari Gati Dayaka, that sometimes they have difficulties with these pastimes so much that they don't accept only these pastimes. Pastimes like Aghasura being sent to the spiritual world, or Paundraka being sent to the getting Sarupya Mukti. What to speak of Putana, that is quite a thing for them to accept. But then point is, no, if you go by Shastric Pramanas and you go by the brilliant analysis that is done by acharyas, that is nature of Krishna. He can do so. And he can kill a demon and send him back home, back to God. Usual conception is Lord may kill a demon, but that demon has to take another birth and then practice bhakti, and then he can go back. But this is not how Krishna acts. He may purify that demon to such an extent that he doesn't have to take another birth also. He doesn't have to practice bhakti. Such a demon can be directly sent to the spiritual world. Possible. He may get muktis, or he may even get Goloka. And that's what happened with Paundraka also. Although he was an imitator, but because of his full absorption, he was awarded Sarupya Mukti by the Lord. So these examples are there to show the merciful and extraordinary nature of Krishna's beauty and mercy. They are not there to sort of sympathize with them, or they are not there also to take inspiration from them, inspiration of unfavorable attitude towards Krishna. No, those are not the purposes at all of these pastimes. You have to know the right purpose of that particular pastime. So the purpose is to glorify the inconceivable, achintya tarka gochar nature of the influence of Krishna's beauty on even demons, and also in achintya tarka gochar nature of Krishna's mercy, that he can do such a thing also. This is how Okay, so that's how Prabhupada also, disciples also say, Paundrak achieved Sarupya, one of the 5 kinds of liberation, and was thus promoted to Vaikuntha, where the devotees have the same bodily features as Vishnu. Factually, his meditation was concentrated on the Vishnu form, but because he thought himself to be Lord Vishnu, he was offensive. He was offensive. By his being killed by Krishna, however, that offense was mitigated. See, this is the point. People may have great absorption negatively, but whether that offense is being mitigated by Krishna, that also becomes a major factor. If Krishna does not kill them, they will not achieve such a destination. Right? This is how. Text 25. So, in this way, when Kashiraj and Paundrak were killed, we see that Kashiraja's son, he became extremely vengeful and he wanted to seek revenge of his father's death. So that's the last part of this chapter now. We will see this. Shirah patitam alokya rajadware sakundalam kimidam kasya vavatram iti shamshi shire janaha. Yes,
Seeing
sir.
a head decorated with earrings lying at the gate of the royal palace, the people present were puzzled. Some of them asked, "What is this?" And others said, "It is a head, but whose is it?"
Yeah. So they were puzzled actually. But they soon realized that the head was of Kashiraj himself. Text 26. Radnyah Kashipater Jnatva Mahishah Putra Bahishah Putra Bandhavah Paurascha Ha Hatarajan Nathanatheti Prarudan.
My dear king, when they recognized it as the head of their king, the lord of Kashi, his queens, sons, and other relatives, along with all the citizens of the city, began to cry pitifully, "Alas, we are killed! Oh, my lord, my lord!"
So when they realized, oh, the head, that head which was beheaded, that head is of Kashipati only, Kashiraj only. So then all these queens, they came out running, all the sons and all the residents, ha, ha, ha. They started expressing such a grief, hi, 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 what happened? Our king is dead, Nath, Nath, our master is dead. They started howling and crying out loud. Sudakshinastasya sutah kritva samstha vidhim patehe nihatya pitruhantaram yasyamya pachitim prituhu ityatmanabhisandhaya sopadhyayo maheshwaram sudakshino archayamasa paramena samadhina.
After the king's son Sudakshina had performed the obligatory funeral rituals for his father, he resolved within his mind, "Only by killing my father's murderer can I avenge his death." Thus, the charitable Sudakshina, together with his priests, began worshipping Lord Maheshwara with great attention.
Yes. So Jiva Goswami says that this remaining part of the chapter proves that the son was more foolish than the father. Son was more foolish than the father. Because son, I mean, this father, he was somewhat ignorant of Krishna's prowess. But son had seen Krishna's prowess. He saw his father is dead. He saw Paundraka is dead. But still, he was such a fool that he decided that having performed samsthavidhi, having performed last rites of his father, then he said that I will please my father, apachiti, meaning I will please my father, give him satisfaction by killing the killer of my father, Pitruhantara. So he decided this within him, and then taking his upadhyayas, taking his priests, he started worshipping Lord Shiva. These are all residents of Kashi, right? So they are worshippers of Shiva, and they are non-bona fide Shaivas actually. They are not bona fide Shaivas. So these are Shaivas, and they wanted to worship. Now he wanted to worship along with his priest Maheshwara, Lord Shiva. So he performed a great sacrifice for worshipping Lord Shiva, and in that, he took all the vrata necessary vows for that particular sacrifice, so that he can be blessed by Lord Shiva to be able to kill the killer of his father that way. So he performed that particular worship. Yeah, text 29. Prito vimukte bhagvans tasmai varam adad vibhuh pitruhatru vadhopayam savavre varam ipsitam.
Satisfied by the worship, the powerful Lord Shiva appeared in the sacred precinct of Avimukta and offered Sudakshina his choice of benedictions. The prince chose as his benedictions a means to slay his father's killer.
Yeah. So there is this Avimukta Kshetra, right, in Kashi, in Varanasi. So Avimukteshwara, that Lord, master of that Avimukta Kshetra. I mean, that Kshetra of Kashi, special, very pure place of Kashi. So there, Lord Avimukteshwar, Lord Shiva, he appeared being pleased by the sacrifice, and then he gave a benediction to this person, Sudakshina. That Sikh benediction, what do you want? So he said, well, I want Vadhopaya. I want the means to slay my father's killer. So he asked for that benediction, and then Lord Shiva gave that benediction to him. So it is mentioned here, he asked only for Vadhopaya. He asked the means to kill his father's killer. He did not ask for Vadha. He did not ask for Vadha, but he asked for Vadhopaya. Abhay upay dijiye kuch, like that. Instead of asking, he should have asked directly Vadha, but he asked Vadhopaya. Meaning he just asked, okay, give me some strategy or some means to kill my father's killer. So Lord Shiva, he did not give him benediction actually of being, by his benediction that he will be able to kill his father's killer. No, Lord Shiva did not give him that benediction. He gave him the benediction of only Vadhopaya, meaning, you can try killing him. You can try killing the killer of your father, but you will not be able to kill him. Of course, Lord Shiva's, worshipable master is Lord Krishna. But then Lord Shiva made sure also that his benediction which he gave was never to be able to kill Krishna. No. It was only to make an effort to kill Krishna. And Lord Shiva gave him such a benediction that if the benediction fails, then the benediction will kill the Yajman himself, meaning it will come back and kill Sudakshina. So Lord Shiva actually bewildered his intelligence. Lord Shiva bewildered Sudakshina's intelligence, that because he knew his evil nature, so he bewildered his intelligence and thus made him ask only for Vadhopaya, only for means of killing the Lord rather than ask for actual killing. Lord Shiva is Sarvajna. He knows the nature of Sudakshina. So that's why he bewildered him in such a way. And then he also gave this condition, this benediction on a condition. So he did not give just benediction, okay, tathastu. No, not like that. He gave it also on the condition. So that condition is mentioned ahead. We'll see. Okay, so
Guruji, can you ask?
31. I will end, Prabhu, this chapter, then you can ask. Dakshinagnim parichara brahmanai samam ritvijam abhichara vidhanena sachagni pramathair vritaha sadhishyati sankalpam abrahmanye prayojitaha ityadishtastatha chakre krishnaya abhicharan vrati. Yes, Prabhu.
Lord Shiva told him, accompanied by Brahmanas, serve the Dakshinagni fire, the original priest, following the injunctions of the Abhichar ritual. Then the Dakshinagni fire, together with many pramathas, will fulfill your desire if you direct it against someone inimical to the Brahmanas. So instructed, Sudakshina strictly observed the ritualistic vows and invoked the Abhichara against Lord Krishna.
Yeah, so he took the abhichar, this method of black magic, abhichar, to get rid of Krishna. So Lord Shiva knew this, and that's why Lord Shiva instructed him that, okay, you perform this sacrifice, and in that this Dakshinagni, uh, Dakshinagni will appear. There are different kinds of fire, you may be aware. There is Garhapatya fire, there is Ahvani, there is Dakshinagni. So Dakshinagni fire especially is to get rid of somebody. If you have a intention of killing someone or like that, then Dakshinagni fire is used from that particular ritual of sacrifice in the black magic, in the abhichar. Abhicharyate saha. The purpose of abhichar is only that. Abhicharyate saha abhichar. That which kills is abhichar. That which hurts or injures is abhichar. So Lord Shiva saw, okay, these people, they want to hurt, they want to kill their father's killer. Okay, so you do this sacrifice and Dakshinagni will appear. And by Abhichar Vidhan, so that Dakshinagni, that Kritya, that demon which is created, that is a fiery demon, actually. It's also known as Kritya. So that Kritya will appear along with all the Pramathas, along with all the powerful Lord Shiva's associates and all that. And they will all appear and they will accomplish your goal. If there was a very important condition, Abrahmanya. If you want to use this abhichar to kill a person who is Abrahmanya, who is against the Brahmanas, who is not a worshipper of Brahmana, who is against Brahminical culture. So in this way, putting that condition and giving the adesha, so then this Sudakshina, he performed the sacrifice of abhichar. So somebody can say, right, if this condition is put, Brahmanya, how did Sudakshina not understand immediately that it is a condition, I cannot use this abhichar against Krishna? No. Why? Because Sudakshina thought that Krishna was a Brahmanya. Sudakshina thought Krishna did not worship the Brahmanas. In fact, Brahmanas worshipped him. So this person is such a person, he takes worship of Brahmanas. Where does he worship Brahmanas? That's what he thought. I have seen and heard Krishna, how he takes worship from the Brahmanas, and he is the one who is always glorified by Brahmanas. All the Brahmanas take his shelter, they worship him. He may know some stories or like Sudama or like that. But then point is, his idea was Krishna is not Brahmanya. He is a Brahmanya. Krishna, instead of worshipping Brahmanas, he takes worship of Brahmanas, which is actually perfect, right? Which is Brahmanas or Vaishnavas, they for them, Krishna is Upasya. Krishna worships Brahmanas or devotees only out of love. But the Tattva is Upasya is only Krishna. Brahmanas are Upasakas only. They cannot be called Upasya. So that's why when we say Krishna is Brahmanya, it means that actually that Krishna is affectionate to his Brahman devotees, like that. But Sudakshina thought that this personality is a Brahmanya, so that's why I can use it. He was very confident that this particular fire can be used for Krishna. So he created this, he performed this abhichar and created the Dakshinagni fire. And then we can see what did it do. Tato agniruthitah kundan murtiman atibhishanaha taptatamra shikha smashrur angaro gari lochanaha angaro gari lochanaha damstrograbhru kuti danda kathorasya Kathorasya swajihvaya alihan shikwani nagno vidhunvam strishikam jvalat. Okay, now somebody else can read. This is last portion, so we are coming to end only. Balabhadra Kripapuru, you want to read?
Thereupon the fire rose up out of the altar pit, assuming the form of an extremely fearsome naked person. The fairy creature's beard and tuft of hair were like a molten copper, and his eyes emitted blazing hot cinders. His face looked most frightful with his fangs and terrible arch and furrowed brows. As he licked the corner of his mouth with his tongue, the demon shook his flaming trident.
So very, very deadly, fearsome, naked person emerged from there. This demon Kritya, he emerged from there, and this fiery creature was very fearsome to look at. He's described his beard and tuft were like molten copper, and eyes were throwing out. He had 3 eyes, and those 3 eyes were throwing out blazing hot cinders. Very terrible fangs, and he was just shaking everyone with his trident, which was also fiery. So this Kritya was created to finish off Krishna and Dwaraka. Padbhyam tala pramanabhyam kampayannavani sobhyadhavad vrito bhutair sobhyadhavad vrito bhutair dwarakam pradahan dishah. Yes, sir.
On legs as tall as palm trees, the monster raced toward Dwarka in the company of godly spirit, shaking the ground and burdening the world in all directions.
Yeah, so he headed towards Dwarka directly, along with his associates. Tam abhichara dahanam ayantam dwarakaukasa vilokya tatrasu sarve vanadahe mraga yatha.
Seeing the approach of the fairy demon created by the Abhichara ritual, the residents of Dwarka were all struck with fear, like animals terrified by a forest fire.
Yeah, so all the Dwarkavasis were very happy after Krishna had returned, killing Paundraka and Kashiraj and all. And they really did not expect any calamity on them. But then after this, when they saw this Kritya and all these Bhutaganas, they attacking Dwaraka, they were extremely fearful. And they thought that, oh, this is now, this is the revenge, or this is basically the result of Krishna's killing Kashiraj. Distraught with, okay, just next verse. Akshay sabhayam kridantam bhagavantam bhayaturaha trahi trilokesha vanne pradahata puram.
Distraught with fear, the people cried out to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was then playing a dice in the royal court. Save us, O Lord of this 3 world, from this fire burning of the city.
Yeah, so Lord was just playing this Chaucer, this Aksha at that time on dice. So he was just playing, and he did not want even to be disturbed in his play. So when the Dwarkavasis there shouting outside, seeing that fire coming to engulf, so Lord Krishna was like very peaceful. Okay, I cannot disturb my play. So they were saying trahi and fearful, but Krishna just very nonchalantly addressed the whole problem, we can say. Shrutva tajjana vaiklavyam drashtva svanam cha sadvasam sharanyah samprahasyaha ma bhaisha iti avitasmyaham.
When Lord Krishna heard the people's agitation and saw that even his own men were disturbed, that most worthy giver of the shelter simply laughed and told them, do not fear, I shall protect you.
Yeah, so all these devotees, that they naturally take shelter of Krishna, like in Vrindavan or like in Dwaraka. They naturally take shelter of Krishna. So they know that Krishna will protect. So that taking of shelter of Krishna is also very pleasing to Krishna. So that's how they act in that particular way. Although they are also great warriors, they are very great themselves very powerful, right? All the Dwarkavasis and all that. But then, yes, whenever these demons attack or like that, they take shelter of Krishna and they cry out to Krishna, just as naturally a child calls out for protection of his father. So they also called out. Sarvasyantarbahi sakshi krityam maheshwarim vibhuhu Vidnyaya tat vighatartham parshvastham chakramadishat.
The Almighty
Yeah.
Lord, the internal and external witness of all, understood that the monster had been produced by Lord Shiva from the sacrificial fire. To defeat the demon, Krishna dispatched his disc weapon, who was waiting at his side.
Yeah, so Krishna is Sarvagya, he understood everything. Where from this Kritya is coming, demon is coming. So Vishwanath Chakravarti mentions that this is mentioned in purport also, you can see. Krishna was absorbed in a gambling match and did not want to be disturbed by such an insignificant matter as the attack of fiery demon. This whole thing which made Dwarkavasis very fearful was such an insignificant thing for Krishna that he just asked his Sudarshana. Sudarshana appeared next to him, ready for the order, and Krishna just said that, okay, take care of this demon. That's it. He did not even get up. He just asked Sudarshan to take care of it. For Paundraka and all, he had personally gone to fight, but for this insignificant fiery demon created from Dakshinagni, he just sent Sudarshan that you finish him off. Like that. Tat Suryakoti Pratimam Sudarshanam Jajvalyamanam Pralayanala Prabham Swatejasakam Kakubhotha Rodasi Chakram Mukundastram Athagnimadayat.
That
Yeah.
Sudarshana, the disc weapon of Lord Mukunda, blazed forth like millions of suns. His effulgence blazed like the fire of universal annihilation. And with his heat, he pained the sky, all direction, heaven and earth, and also the fairy demon.
Sudarshan only tormented this fire. This was a fiery demon, and it was just spreading everywhere in terms of fire. But Sudarshan is so powerful. We know that Sudarshan is the most powerful astra. Amongst all the astras, Sudarshan is the most powerful. So it had this effulgence of millions of Surya Koti, millions of suns, and it started burning this demon itself. Like that. So all the demon and demon's associates, everyone, they started getting tortured. They started getting burnt by Sudarshana. So they became very fearful. Krityanala pratihata sarathanga paner asrau jasasa nrapabhagnamuk. Okay. Krityanala pratihata sarathanga paner asrau jasasana bhagna mukho nivruttah Varanasim parisammetya sudakshinam tam satvik janam samadahat swakruto bhicharaha.
Frustrated by the power of Lord Krishna's weapon, O king, the fairy creature produced by black magic turned his face away and retreated. Created for violence, the demon then returned to Varanasi, where he surrounded the city and then burned Sudakshina and his priest to death, even though Sudakshina was his creator.
Yeah, so just as Lord Shiva had given that benediction, when this Kritya and Sudarshan, there was, they came in front of each other, and then Sudarshan started tormenting this Kritya like that. In fact, Bhagna Mukho, the face, the mouth and the face of this Kritya became broken. Muh toot gaya uska pura. Bhagna Mukho, like that. And Nivruttaha, so he subsided, that demon, and just decided that I cannot kill this person. I cannot destroy Dwarka Nagari or like that. So in that way, having his limbs and his face broken, he went back. So that's how Abhichar works. If it is not able to kill the desired object, whoever it was sent for, then it will kill the Yajaman only. It has to kill someone. So if it does not kill the person, then it will go back and kill the Yajaman, who caused that whole Anushthan. So that was Sudakshina. And then Sudakshina and everyone else, Varanasim Parisametya. So that Kritya went back to Varanasi and it burnt Sudakshina and along with all the priests, and everyone was destroyed, burnt to ashes like that completely. So this is how Prabhupada speaks also, that this whole field of black art mantras, abhichar, is very deadly. If the mantra fails to kill an enemy, then because it must kill someone, it kills the original creator. Sudakshina was the originator and priests assisted him. So it has to go back and kill Yajaman and those who help the Yajaman. This is how. So it's a very deadly thing, black magic and all that. So as devotees, also we stay away from all such things. This is basically, I mean, all this field is only to hurt people. And abhichar especially is to very much for evil purposes many times. Let's see. Text 41. Chakram cha Vishnostad anupravishtam Varanasim Satta Sabhalaya Panam Sagopurattalaka Poshtha Sankulam Sakosha Hastyashvarathan Nashalinim.
Lord Vishnu also entered Varanasi in pursuit of fiery demon and proceeded to burn the city to the ground, including all its assembly halls and residential palaces with raised porches. Its numerous marketplaces, gateways, watchtowers, warehouses, and treasuries, and all the buildings housing elephants, horses, chariots, and grains.
Yeah, so when prior time Krishna came, then he did not destroy Varanasi Puri. When he attacked, he only destroyed the Kashiraj and Paundrak and his army. He did not trouble the residents. Although they were also evil-minded, but Krishna still spared them. He did not trouble. But when the Kritya demon was created and it tried to destroy Dwarkavasis only, then Krishna, he just had Sudarshan burn even the Varanasi. It just burned the whole city to the ground. All warehouses, marketplaces, apanakas, hattas, everything. He just burnt it. Because he saw that all of them were very demoniac and had become very antagonistic. So when an attempt was made to destroy Krishna's Dwarka, then Krishna finished off Varanasi only, burnt the whole Varanasi to ashes. Of course, leaving the temples and all where Lord Shiva was worshipped. Dadhva Varanasim Sarvam Vishnosh Chakram Sudarshanam Bhuya Parshvam Upatishtat Krishnasya Klishta Karmana.
After burning down the entire city of Varanasi, Lord Vishnu Sudarshana Chakra returned to the side of Sri Krishna, whose actions are effortless.
Yeah, so the whole thing was effortless for Krishna because Aklishta Karmana. Krishna is Aklishta Karmana or Aklishta Karmana. Aklishta Karmana means Krishna's karmas don't cause klesha to him. Aklishta, it is not klesha for him. Effortlessly he does these things. So just as here, effortlessly he finished off Kritya, taught a lesson to all Varanasi residents and everything. And that's how Krishna, without even disturbing his play, he just continued. When Sudarshan came back to him, he was still playing. Lord was still playing his dice. Yaedam Shravaya Martya Uttama Shloka Vikramam Samahito Va Shrunuyat Sarva Papai Pramuchyate.
Any mortal who recount this heroic pastime of Lord Uttama Shlokas, or who simply hears it attentively, will become free from all sins.
So this is Falashruti. Whoever Shravayet, meaning whoever makes this pastime hear others, whoever recounts this pastime to others, or somebody who hears this attentively, samahito va shrunuyat. So both are being given the Falashruti, the speaker and also the one who is attentive listener, like that. So Sarva Papai Pramuchate, such a person will become freed from all the sins. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of. Thus end the purports of humble servants of His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 66th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Pondrata Falls Vasudev. So thank you very much. I went a little bit over time, but I wanted to finish it. Just in case any of you need to leave for prasadam, please go ahead. If anyone has questions, they can ask. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So if you need to leave, please go ahead. No worries. Yeah. Arjuneshwar Prabhu, you had some question.
Yes, Prabhu. I had a question. So this Ponderoka also had a Lakshmi ji also, some imitation.
No, meaning he had his wife, but there was no Lakshmi because his whole Lakshmi Rekha and Shrivats was imitation only, no? So he didn't have any Lakshmi. He, if you want to call it, yeah, pseudo Lakshmi may be there, his wife. Like, but he didn't have any, yeah, any such thing. It was imitation completely, so naturally.
Like Balram ji is there, but again, Balram was also not there. Correct.
Balram was also not there in this fight.
No, means from his side, like Krishna is there, then Balram should also be there. Okay.
So,
Means these things were not, he was alone Vasudeva, like Vasudeva's son is Krishna.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
he did not have
There was no, I mean, some resemblance, Prabhu, up to some extent, like his father's name was also Vasudeva. And by Lord Shiva's benedictions, he had some look-alikeness to Krishna. That much was there.
Prabhuji, another
That's
question is this is always many times is seen that Kashi is kings are quite inimical to Lord Sri Krishna in future. And previously also we saw in 10th canto pastime. So this is regular actually. The fights between Vaishnavas and Saivites. So here the destruction of Kashi, it was also might be foreseen by the Lord Shiva. And here Lord Shiva is also said that he is a Trikalagya, means he knows the past, present, future, and he's Sarvagya basically. So many times we hear even in Rudragit there also that he, no, not Rudragit, some other places it is seen that he is like a Paramatma in the heart of the living entities. Some glorifies also like that. So these two questions I'm asking. One thing is inimical nature, another thing is a Sarvagya. How is it? Means both are not reconciling. Means his activities are like Lord Vishnu's, and his devotees' activities are totally like to kill the Vishnu devotees or harm.
No, so Prabhu, that you will have to take by Leela. Sometimes he acts out of Leela Vesha, Leela Avesha, Leela Vesha. So Leela Avesha he may act. So in such cases, he knows what is going to happen with that demon. Still he gives that benediction. In some cases, he only punishes the demon by giving a particular benediction. He knows that now with this benediction, like even here, he knew that this Sudakshina and all will be destroyed now. But still he gave that benediction because, okay, you worshipped and you want to do this, but this is evil thing. So I will give the benediction, but I will trick you in such a way that you will not be able to kill Krishna, rather you will be destroyed by Sudarshan. All of So he also acts in that particular manner. Sometimes the aspect like his Ashutosh nature is glorified. So he's like very quick to be pleased. So he just gives it. He gives it. And then we see that those demons may become proud or like that. And then he sees that, yes, it is a problem. So pastime by pastime, we have to see. Sometimes he manifests that Sarvagya nature. Sometimes he manifests that touch of tamas. Lord Shiva is having the touch of tamas, which is accepted by his own will. That's the point. Svechaya Maya Sparsha. So sometimes in some pastime, in order to demonstrate that point, that how he is touched by tamas, we may see that that idea is shown, that he is acting in a way and then later he feels, oh, this was not right thing to do. Sometimes he acts directly in the Leela Vesha. He knows everything, how Krishna's Leela is manifesting. So he is Sarvagya, no doubt, Prabhu. But depending on pastimes and what particular nature is to be shown of Lord Shiva there, whether you want to show his Gunasparsha, the aspect of he being touched by the mode of ignorance, or you want to show his completely pure nature as a Vaishnava, where he knows Lord Krishna's plan and he's acting like that. So these things are there. Based on that, we can see Lord Shiva, why he acts in a particular way. But he is never inimical to Krishna or devotees. That is certainly there. He is never inimical to them. Even in the pastimes where he himself fights with Krishna and all, we all know why he does such things. He does only to glorify Krishna. See, show that how he is, in fact, subordinate to Krishna. Krishna is more powerful than him on this way. But the worshippers of Shiva, they may not be like this. Jiva Goswami in Bhagavad Sandarbha, he talks about 5 kinds of worshippers of Shiva. And he says among them, the best worshippers are those who worship Lord Shiva, understanding his position with Krishna or Vishnu perfectly well. If they worship him as Swatantra Ishvara, then these are not pure Shaivas. And they don't achieve Lord Shiva's abode at all if they worship Lord Shiva as the independent Ishvara. They may achieve material benedictions, but those benedictions also become antagonistic to them. Those benedictions lead to their own downfall if they worship Lord Shiva as Swatantra Ishvara. So if you want to attain moksha by worshipping Lord Shiva, then it has to be 2 kinds of worship. One is knowing him to be Gunavatar of the Lord, knowing him that Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, meaning he is the greatest devotee of the Lord, or knowing him as he is Paramatma, it's Amsha, he is Gunavatar of the Lord. Knowing in these 2 ways, one can worship Lord Shiva, and one can attain the abode of Lord Shiva in transcendental Kailasha. So those are pure worshippers. But all others, like considering him to be just Swatantra Ishvara, or second, considering him to be just in charge of mode of ignorance. And third, where they consider him to be just, completely equal to Paramatma, absolutely no difference. It is like 2 Paramatmas are there. That kind of understanding is also not good. They have to understand this aspect also. Bhed and Abheda. So if they only know Abheda, that's the third one. So these 3 never lead to attaining Lord Shiva's abode. The last 2 lead to Lord Shiva's abode, where they worship him as greatest Vaishnava, or they worship him as Lord's Gunavatar, and in that way not different from Supreme Lord in that way. So where Abhed and Bhed both are understood. So this Jiva Goswami speaks in the explanation of the verse 1.2.23. Satvarajastama iti prakrite gunasthe. That verse. So that's how we see. So if they are worshipping Lord Shiva also, they may not be pure Shaiva worshippers. Then they will do a lot of havoc. They will wreak havoc in terms of fighting with Krishna or his devotees. Understand?
Yes, Guruji. Yes, thank you very much.
Samapan Gopru has been raising hand.
So this Virya Ras relish is we see in Bhagavatam very clearly mentioned, where Hiranyakashipu fight, Hiranyaksha fight, and Jambuvan fight. They are long fights, and Lord is surely relishing Virya Ras there. However, when it comes to demons, like even Chanur Mushtik, I think it is mentioned. So here also is it mentioned that Lord is relishing the Virya Ras like that?
Oh, okay. The principle of relishing Virya Ras, Prabhu, in order to fight with demons or with demons who are his own devotees turning into demons. In either cases, the Virya Ras can manifest. This is mentioned in many places in commentaries. Okay. So it doesn't have to be like only with his associates who turn into demons that he enjoys fighting. The whole, it's a samanya tattva, it's a general principle that when Krishna fights, with the demons, why is he fighting, or how does he himself take it? So he himself takes it as enjoyment of Viryaras. See, he can sit there in Dwarka and kill Paundraka, right? Why he has to even appear here on the battlefield to kill Paundraka? He can kill Paundraka right there, sitting in the Dwarka. But still he comes and does this sort of thing. So why is that? Because he relishes fights. Now, the fight that he relishes with Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and with some other normal demons, there may be change in that proportion. That is accepted. But the idea that he is enjoying Virya Rasa with fighting with demons also, there are a lot of references for that. So here also, Paundraka is there. So it's a general principle. That's why he fights.
Only in Kamsa's case, he didn't enjoy anything, just killed him because of anger.
Yeah, meaning it's not a big fight or like that. Yes, he just immediately finished him off. Yeah. So the whole aspect of fight, like even with Jarasandha, he fights so many times. So every time Jarasandha comes, he fights. His purposes were manifold in that. But then, one of the purposes is that, the general purpose in with fighting with demons is also that he does Kshatra Leela. He likes to fight. So he fights with these people as a Kshatriya Leela, Nara Leela.
Yes, true. So Sukdev Goswami seems to elaborate these Leelas more, but if we see Bhagavatam, quite chapters, right? 1 to like Hiranyaksha, and there, but it's clear, everywhere he relishes.
Everywhere he relishes. He relishes killing of demons even in Braja. Where we see, it is like so effortless. It's not so much of Viryaras also. It's just so simple and effortless killing.
Yes, Prabhu, but when it comes to Vraja, recently Vishwarupa was telling that actually Raval and those places, there is no intervention of demons so that he can continue exchanging the rasa with the devotees. So that way, Aishwarya aspect doesn't come in. That's what very wonderfully he was saying. So surely
certainly that is
Aishwarya aspect
very
has to
true.
manifest.
Yeah, very true. In certain regions and pastimes, he never allows any Aishwarya to come. So absolutely, there is just no Aishwarya in certain places and like that. But typically Bhaum Vrindavan's Leelas, that speciality Rupa Goswami speaks is that yes, here only, even in Vraja, he will allow some demons to come. And, he will kill them without manifesting much of the Aishwarya. So on one hand, the principle that Lord does not allow anything to be influenced of Aishwarya, but within Braja, his killing is also with hardly any Aishwarya. Yeah, killing of Putana or killing of Trinavarta, like that. These demons, he's not even manifesting any Aishwarya as such. Much of Aishwarya that way. So, yeah, Prabhu, true. But there are certain pastimes where he just doesn't allow also. Especially with his pastimes with gopis and all, he hardly allows the demons or anything to come.
Yeah, like Barsana, that's what he was telling. There is no entry there.
Okay.
So that the rasa continues without any break.
Without any.
And Krishna only kills the demons, Roji. Sometimes we hear, so in Vrindavan, who kills the demons? It is Vrindavan Krishna? What is means? I heard something but not studied.
Yeah, that is a big topic. Maybe with appropriate occasion, we'll speak, Prabhu. No problem. But it has a lot of, it will open up
another discussion.
Not Pandora's box, but it will open some pleasurable box of questions.
What is that Pandora's box?
Pandora's box was, it caused misery to people, but this will cause happiness to people.
Yes,
It's a story of Pandora's box.
yes. So
Okay.
wait
No
for
problem.
the occasion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anant Vijay Prabhu and Srinath Prabhu, and then we stop.
Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hello.
Prabhuji, for extending. Prabhuji, in verse number third or fourth, it is mentioned that exactly.
Okay.
So it mentioned that Ugrasena was there present. He was present when that messenger came. But
Yes.
before it is mentioned that when Krishna killed Kamsa, that he made the king Ugrasena and he was in Mathura. That is also mentioned at that time, Prabhuji, when Krishna killed Kamsa.
Yeah, but when that's true. So after so he was made Mathura's kings. That's true. But then when they shifted from Mathura to Dwaraka, then Ugrasena also went away. No? When that attack happened of Jarasandha the 18th time, and also this Kalayavan attacked, in one night, all the Mathura Vasis were taken to Dwaraka. So that time, what happened to Ugrasena? He was also taken to Dwaraka.
Okay. Yes.
So that's how he was in Dwaraka.
And also, Prabhuji, that the Krishna mentions that Saraswati Artha you mentioned that they have taken that these birds and dogs, they will take shelter of that Pondraka. So, but here translation, Bhanu Maharaj translation, something different is written.
What is there?
Shelter word is not there. I will read that.
Sharanam, how is translated Sharanam?
Used to be Sharanam. Word to word is not there. That complete is given. Word to word they have not given in translation.
No problem. You look at the original. What I am speaking is from all Sanskrit original.
Okay.
So very clearly, because he wanted to award shelter to Krishna, right? So Krishna says that I am not the fortunate one who will get the shelter, but the dogs are the fortunate ones who will get shelter. So dogs are said to be the ones who receive shelter of this Paundraka. And the birds are said to be the associates. These will be your friends and associates. That way. So that's how the whole technical arrangement of words has been made by the Acharyas. So both Vishwanath and Jeev Goswami write like that only.
Thank you.
So you can see original and see if it is matching with translation or like that. Okay, Srinath Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this you were telling about the destination of Paundraka here, and earlier Putana and Aghasura and other demons also. So on one side, we understand that Krishna's merciful nature is that he kept them in that position in the after liberation. And on the other side, if we see they did not desire it, means it is like Krishna's merciful nature. They did not desire it. So when they go to the spiritual world, is it that Krishna completely purified so much so that they never desire to be inimical towards the Lord? Or we should understand that again they may come back to this material world if they don't deserve that position. How to understand this?
Okay. No, Prabhu. It's like once, like Parashar Muni speaks in Vishnu Puran, that once Shri Krishna kills a demon, that see, it's a very unique combination. Like the demon is, like he especially talks about Shishupal. So now Shishupal, by condemning Krishna's beauty and qualities and all that, practically he was constantly thinking about Krishna's quality, Krishna's wonderful attributes and everything this way. So now this aspect of thinking about Krishna, where he's constantly thinking about Krishna's Nam Rup Guna Leela, he's absorbed in it, and this aspect is there. But then it is with a mentality which is completely antagonistic. It is with a mentality which is completely envious. So now when Krishna kills the person, what happens is these two things are there. One thing of being completely absorbed in Krishna's for Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela, everything. And second thing of that envious mentality. So when Krishna kills, so what he does is he takes that envious mentality away. So now what remains is only that absorption that was there in Krishna, Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Seva, and all. So he completely removes that contamination of envious mentality because of that intense remembrance that they had, that kind of. That's why this doesn't happen with every demon also. Vena didn't have this kind of intense remembrance. But these guys, their intense envy or like that made them qualified in that particular way to be killed by Krishna. So now that intense experience of being killed by Krishna, that purifies them from this mentality completely, that clears them their offense completely, that clarifies all the contamination is cleared by that act of Krishna killing them. So it's like a punishment. So punishment aspect, it's a good punishment. Punishment aspect is taking care of all the negativity. What remains is only positivity then. And that's why they once go back to spiritual world, then they never come back. It's a permanent destination. Even in fact, for everyone, it is like that. Once somebody goes to the spiritual world, there is no question of coming back, right? Yadgatva na nivartante. Yadgatva, having gone once, na nivartante. Nobody comes back. Somebody may entertain the possibility because of free will, but then that is only in terms of possibility. It is not, it does not happen like that. It is not probable. And Shastra says this, anavritti hi shabda, anavritti hi shabda. So it doesn't happen like that. Baldev Vidyabhushan says, you may talk about possibilities, but you have to see whether it happens like that. It never happens like that. Once somebody attains spiritual world, that's it. They are there. So what to speak of demons killed by Krishna? 100%. There is no question of them coming back. Because that contamination, offense, sin, nothing is there. It is just cleared. So what remains is the soul, the pure soul, and that pure absorption in Krishna that they had achieved.
Thank you. Great.
Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So tomorrow we'll continue with the next chapter. Hare Krishna.